Live from Maverick Center in the West Valley City, it's Utah Grizzlies hockey. As tonight's the last of a three-game series as the Grizzlies take on the Greenville Swamp Rabbits. Hi, everybody. I'm Tyson Whiting. We're hanging out at Maverick Center tonight as we got a huge crowd of over 9,000 expected as Utah Grizzlies are looking to salvage the third and final game of the series as they take on the Greenville Swamp Rabbits. It'll be the final meeting ever between Utah and Greenville. It's the fourth meeting this season. Grizzlies got a 3-1 victory at Greenville on opening night on October 17th at Bon Secures Wellness Arena. On Wednesday night in the series opener, Greenville got a 3-1 victory. Robbie Stucker scored a power play goal, 2:36 into the second period for the Grizzlies, with Salem and John Gillette getting the assist, but Greenville responded with three unanswered, including one goal and one assist from Dante Sheriff. And even though Utah had a slight shot advantage of 25-22, and the Grizzlies did win the special teams battles, they were 1-for-1 on the power play and 1-for-1 on the penalty kill. It was the Swamp Rabbits that got the 3-1 victory, and that was Wednesday night. Last night, it was a 3-2 overtime victory for Greenville, as Utah did get on the board first as Evan Friesen found the back of the net, 9:56 into the first period. Utah led 1-0 after one frame. It was the second time all season that the Grizzlies had a lead after one period at home. Former Grizzly forward Keaton Mastrodonado got Greenville on the board a minute 7 into the second period, with Isogai and O'Hara getting the assist. And then Greenville scored a shorthanded goal, 11:20 in, as Patrick Polino got his seventh of the year, with Cole Fraser and Josh Atkinson getting the assists. Utah did score a late third period power play goal as Tyler Gratton had the puck at the left goal line. He found a Greenville player just hanging out in front of the crease, and he ricocheted off forward Josh Brackett. And so it just ricocheted off the Greenville player and into the back of the Swamp Rabbits net as Gratton joined the double-digit goal-scoring club as he now has 10 on the year. Webster and Hanson Bukata picked up the assist. Game went to overtime. Greenville outshot Utah 10-1 in OT. Dominic Bassi made some big saves early in overtime to keep it a 2-2 tie, but then with 27 seconds left in the extra session, it was Ryan O'Hara firing a backhand shot that just somehow got through Bassi and gave the Swamp Rabbits a 3-2 victory. O'Hara now has 5 goals on the season, and the overtime game winner was unassisted. There haven't been a ton of shots in either of the first two games of this series. We mentioned the Grizzlies out shooting Greenville 25-22 on Wednesday. Well, last night, Greenville had 32 shots, and 10 of them were in overtime, and the Grizzlies had 19 shots through just about 67 minutes worth of hockey last night. So we'll see if the shot count will rise a little bit here this evening. So Grizzlies have won the special teams battle in this series. They have a power play goal in each of their last 5 games. They are 7 for 17 on the power play over the last 5 games, and the Grizzlies are now tied for 4th in the league in power play percentage at 20.8 on the year. The officials, for the most part, have let them play, and so I think for the Grizzlies, they'd like to have a game that's maybe a little bit tighter in terms of officiating, because they would like to see some power play opportunities, because that's been some of Utah's best offensive spurts here over the last couple weeks. Well, as we mentioned, a great crowd is filing in here to Maverick Center. They're expecting over 9,000 here for the final Guns N' Hoses Classic in team history. Earlier today, there were 3 charity games. The first charity game was a 5-5 tie, and I know that the Hoses ended up winning each of the last 2 charity games. They didn't get a score on the middle game of the second charity game, but I do know the third charity game had a final score of 11-3. And so the Hoses came out on top in each of the last 2 charity games after the first contest ended in a 5-5 tie. So there's a great crowd filing in here. The Grizzlies are wearing specialty jerseys for the occasion. Remember, you can bid on those game-worn jerseys that the Grizzlies are wearing tonight, and you can actually go home with those specialty jerseys. Go to the Dash Auction app, and the auction will actually end at some point during the third period tonight. So you're going to make sure that you want to get on right now and place your bid for those game-worn jerseys. You can get a Reed Webster jersey. After all, he's third in the league with 21 goals this season. You can get the captain, Tyler Gratton. He's been outstanding for Utah as of late, as he has 7 points in his last 5 games. You can get an Evan Friesen jersey. Friesen's been outstanding as of late. He's got 3 goals in his last 5 games. Or maybe Danny Geneva, the first-year pro out of Penn State. who's been absolutely outstanding. And in fact, if the season ended today, Geneva would be a strong favorite for the league's all-rookie team. Dominic Massey's going to get the start in net once again for the Grizzlies, as earlier today, Dylan Wells was recalled to the AHL's Tucson Roadrunners. It's going to be Matthias Scholl getting the start in net for Greenville. This will be his 18th appearance this season. He is the brother of former Idaho Steelheads goaltender Thomas Scholl. Grizzlies are looking to get a victory here on the home ice for the first time in the 2026 calendar year. Utah's looking for their 4th home win of the year, and they're looking to salvage the 3rd and final game of the series as Greenville won 3-1 on Wednesday night, and in overtime it was a 3-2 Swamp Rabbits victory. When we come back, we'll talk about some of the hot performers for the Grizzlies over the last couple weeks, as we got a great crowd filing in here for Guns N' Hoses night. We're in business on a Saturday evening, and you're listening to the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Grisby commutes to work by riding UTA. It gives him time to make friends and relax before arriving to the Maverick Center. But how can Grisby keep enjoying that feeling throughout the entire day? An idea! Utah Transit Authority, proud sponsors of the Utah Grizzlies.
Every new day is a chance to be kinder to your body and your mind. U of U Health is here to help you build strength and confidence every day. Let us help you be a better you. U of U Health, official health partner for the Utah Jazz, Utah Hockey Club, Utes Athletics, and the Utah Grizzlies. Take the first step today at uofuhealth.org.
From commercial to recreational truck accessories, Mountain Land Truck Outfitters has got what you need. Flatbeds, spray and bed liners, lifts and leveling kits, wheels and tires. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters proudly uses a brand you know and trust. And with our experienced, knowledgeable, and friendly staff, your visit here will be informative and enjoyable. Stop into our convenient location in Provo at 265 South 100 West or call 801-225-4637 to get a quote for your fleet or individual truck. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters.
Welcome back to the Grizzlies Hockey Network. I'm Tyson Whiting. Face-offs in about 13 minutes from now as the Grizzlies are set to take on the Greenville Swamp Rabbits for the final time ever. Utah all-time is 3-1-1 against the Swamp Rabbits. Dominic Massey's going to get the start in net for the Grizzlies. This will be his 3rd straight appearance in this series. And for Massey, he's done a great job keeping the Grizzlies in every game, as he has saved 117 of 126 in his last 4 games with a .928 save percentage. Last night, he stopped 29 of 32, and he did a great job keeping the Grizzlies in it. It took till the 10th overtime shot on goal for Greenville for them to finally get one past him, and that was Ryan O'Hara late in OT. Danny Genevieve, my pick to click. Watch out for him. He leads the league with 170 shots on goal. Genevieve is second among all-league rookies with 33 points, 13 goals, and 20 assists. He is third among rookies with 11 power play assists and 5th with 20 assists. And how about Aiden Hansen-Bucata? AHB is 4th among league rookies with 21 assists. He had 2 helpers last night, and he passed Danny Genevieve for the club lead in assists, as Hansen-Bucata's got 21 and Genevieve has 20 assists on the year. Reed Lepster also picked up 2 assists last night. He now has 7 multiple-point games this season. Webster now leads the Grizzlies with 35 points, 21 goals, and 14 assists. Evan Friesen's been outstanding as of late. He's got 3 goals in his last 5 games. Friesen was outstanding for the Grizzlies in the month of December, and tonight is the final game in the month of January. Friesen has a point in 11 of his last 20 games. And also watch out for Riley Connors. His parents are once again in attendance this evening. He has 11 shots on goal in his last 3 games. He's certainly been getting some opportunities, and I got a feeling that he's going to find the back of the net sometime here tonight. Goals are usually at a premium against Greenville, as the Swamp Rabbits do like to play a highly controlled brand of hockey. They're not necessarily a high-scoring team, or they're not necessarily a team that plays with a ton of pace. They kind of go at their own pace and just kind of roll with the punches. Greenville is pretty even in the goal differential, and both the first, second, and third periods. So they're not one of those clubs that has a particular period where they're dominant. They also don't have a period where they struggle in. They're just kind of a steady as she goes kind of hockey team. And with that, the Swamp Rabbits now have a winning record this season at 17, 16, and 4. The last two games, it was Isaiah Seville getting the victories for the Swamp Rabbits. His record is now 6-5 on the year. Tonight, it will be the Grizzlies' first look at Matthias Scholl, who's 5'11 and 180 pounds. He has a .921 save percentage on the season. When we come back, we'll go over the starting lineups for both teams. As we're in business on a Saturday night, it's the Guns N' Hoses Classic, as we're expecting over 9,000 fans here in attendance. Parking lot's going to be pretty packed, and it looks like an outstanding crowd. No doubt it's going to be the largest home crowd of the regular season. If you're in the West Valley area, come on down and check and see if there's going to be some tickets this evening, as we're expected pretty close to a sellout by the time this place fills up towards the middle portion of the first period. We'll come back and talk about the lineups for both teams, as looks like we got a pretty good matchup tonight. It's the Grizzlies and the Swamp Rabbits, as Utah's looking to find a way to end January on a winning note. This is the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Since 1939, America First has helped people start businesses, buy homes and cars, and achieve their financial goals. Today, our top priority is still the financial success of you and your family, which is why we're giving new members $100 when they sign up for a basic savings and checking account, and another $100 when they upgrade to premium checking and enroll in and use direct deposit. So head to americafirst.com today and join the credit union that always puts its members first.
Les Schwab changed the tire game more than 70 years ago. Today, we still believe you should get more from less. Like more hustle, less hassle. More of the best service around, less of the runaround. Because we include America's best tire warranty in every tire we sell. So you get more unbeatable warranty, less charging you extra. It's why we're more than proud to say, you get more from less.
Welcome back to Maverick Center. Let's go over the lineups for both teams. First, for the visiting Greenville Swamp Rabbits, who have a record of 17, 16, and 4. They are 8-6-3 on the road this season. Matthias Scholl is going to get the start in net. It's the first time he's faced the Grizzlies. He has a record of 6-7-2 with one shutout. He has a 2.47 goals against average and .921 save percentage. Pierce Charlson is the backup goaltender tonight, as Isaiah Seville, who picked up the victory in each of the first two games of this series, is getting the night off. The starting defensive pairing for the Swamp Rabbits includes Jacob Modry, whose father, Yaroslav Modry, played for the Grizzlies for 2 seasons, including just about the entire 1997-98 campaign. Modry's a big guy at 6'6" and 216 pounds. His brother, Luke Modry, played for the Utah Outliers back in the 2020-21 season. And Jacob Modry is going to be paired up with Cole Fraser, who's wearing number 51. Fraser has 2 assists in 29 games this season. So Modry and Fraser are the starting defensive pairing. We will see Parker Berg paired up with Jake Murray, and Tim Lovell is going to be lined up with Swamp Rabbits captain Josh Atkinson. So that's the 6 defensemen for the Swamp Rabbits tonight. The starting forwards for Greenville include Ben Poisson, who was actually a college teammate at the University of Maine with Luke Antonacci. Poisson's a native of Vancouver in British Columbia. He's going to be lined up with Jack Brackett, who incidentally enough was the one that put the puck in his own net late in the third period on a power play to tie the score up at 2. And also getting a start for the Swamp Rabbits is going to be Remy Parker, the native of Montclair, New Jersey. Parker is 6'3" and 185 pounds. So starting forwards again are Poisson, the main product, along with Parker and Brackett. We will see a lot of Kenta Isogai from Nagano, Japan. He's got an AHL contract with Ontario. Ryan O'Hara and Keaton Mastrodonato. We'll also have a forward line of Hudson Shandor with Patrick Polino and Dante Sheriff. And John Parker Jones, the big 6'9", 230-pound forward, is going to be lined up with Ryan O'Reilly and Wade Murphy. So that's the forwards for the Swamp Rabbits tonight. And now for the homestanding Utah Grizzlies. They're led by first-year head coach John Buchanan. Assistant coaches Ryan Anderson and Jack Skilley. It's game 42 of 72 for the Grizzlies this season. Utah's record of 15-22-4. Utah's looking to find a way to get things jump-started here on the Maverick Center ice, as the Grizzlies are 3-11-2 here at home this season. Before we talk about who's on the ice tonight, scratches include Colby Enns with Avery Winslow, Stepan Timofeyev, Rylan Kovacevic, Luke Manning, Neil Shea, Christoph Filion, and Mike Gillette. So the Grizzlies are rolling with 10 forwards and 6 defensemen. The starting defensive pairing for the Grizzlies includes Robbie Stucker, number 4. Stucker, in 36 games, has 4 goals and 11 assists. He is an even in the plus-minus category. Stucker is a big defenseman at 6'3" and 179 pounds. And he'll be paired up with Luke Salem, who has 1 goal and 10 assists in 38 games. So it's going to be Salem and Stucker getting the start. We will see Aiden Hansen-Bukata lined up with Luke Antonacci. Antonacci in his first season as a pro out of the University of Maine, as well as this season at Lake Superior State. Matu Wallar got in a fight a minute 55 into last night's game with John Parker Jones. He'll be wearing number 27, and he's paired up with Noah Gansky, who's a 6'7", 209-pound defenseman. Gansky, the former Fort Wayne Comet. So Salem and Stucker are going to get the start. We'll see AHB and Antonacci paired up, as well as Wallar and Noah Gansky. And the Grizzlies hit the ice in their kind of American colored themed specialty jerseys for Guns and Hoses, as Grisby is holding a carrot, and it looks like he is dangling it in front of the Rabbits, if you will, the Swamp Rabbits at center ice. So Grisby's trying to do a little bit of rabbit hunting over at center ice as he's got the spotlight on him. Starting forwards for the Grizzlies include Henri Schreifels, who's making his 5th appearance this season. They'll be lined up with Sean Kennedy, who has 1 assist in 11 games, and John Gillette, the first-year pro out of Holy Cross. Gillette has 7 goals and 7 assists in 41 games. We will see Granton, Friesen, and Lepster on a forward line, as well as Genevieve, Riley Connors, and Mikey Coella, and TJ Sneath will be the 10th forward. Grisby's introduced at center ice. Let's get the other starters from public address announcer Mark Larson.
Defense wearing number 4, Robbie Stucker. On defense wearing number 6, Luke Salem. At forward wearing number 7, Henri Schreifels. At forward wearing number 17, Sean Kennedy. At forward wearing number 24, John Gillette. And protecting our goal tonight wearing number 35, Dominic Bassi.
That's the lineup for the Grizzlies to start things out. Remember, you can bid on those game-worn specialty jerseys on the Dash Auction app. You can get a Riley Connors jersey, maybe Dominic Bassi if you're a fan of goaltenders. You can get just about anybody. It's certainly a sharp look. Make sure to go to the Dash Auction app and bid on those game-worn jerseys.
And everyone in our community is saddened to learn of the passing due to cancer of longtime and original Jazz Bear, John Absey. Throughout his career as Jazz Bear, he made over 6,000 appearances, spreading joy in hospitals, schools, and charities. John gave so much joy to millions, and our thoughts are with his family and the community.
A touching moment for the original Jazz Bear, passed away earlier today, John Absey, and boy, he was about as entertaining as it got. He provided a ton of smiles and thrills to people for many decades, and he will definitely be missed. Now our national anthem.
Can you see by the dawn's early lights what so proudly we hailed at the strikes and bright stars through the perilous fights. O'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Maverick's new bean-to-cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
It's a great night for hockey as two big standings points are on the line as the Utah Grizzlies are set to take on the Greenville Swamp Rabbits in the last of a three-game series. As we have people hanging from the roof. They're going to rappel down as Salt Lake City firefighters are coming down from the roof here at Maverick Center, as it is the final Guns N' Hoses Classic in team history, and it's already been an overwhelming success considering how many people were at the charity games earlier today. As, well, my guess, there's probably somewhere between 3,000 or 4,000 that were here for the charity games. There was a 5-5 tie in the first charity game, and then Team Hoses won each of the last two charity games. I didn't get the final score of the second charity game, but I do know the third and final charity game was an 11-3 victory for Team Hoses. As 4 firefighters came down from the ceiling at Maverick Center as they landed about where the Greenville blue line is, and the net they're going to defend here in the first period. So Guns N' Hoses Classic, as we're going to have a ton of fun here tonight, and a crowd of over 9,000 expected, and they're still filing in here as the parking lot is pretty packed right now. So going to have a ceremonial puck drop at center ice with the two captains, who incidentally both wear number 59, Tyler Gratton for the Grizzlies and Josh Atkinson for the Greenville Swamp Rabbits. Atkinson's been a pro for about a decade, and he is from St. Albert, Alberta, as is Atkinson. And Tyler Gratton, a native of Pottstown, Pennsylvania. And Gratton's been about as hot as any Grizzly out there. As he's got 7 points in his last 5 games. He scored the power play goal late in the third period, and it was really a creative play. Didn't have much of a shooting angle, but he saw a Swamp Rabbit just kind of hanging out in front of his crease as Gratton ricocheted the puck off of Jack Brackett and into the Greenville net for the game-tying goal late in the third period. We'll see if the Grizzlies can get some power play chances tonight, as they're 7 for 17 on the power play over the last 5 games. They have a power play goal in 5 straight games, and that's certainly been a key to their success offensively over the last 5 games, where they're averaging more than 3 goals per game. So ceremonial puck drop here at center ice, as we're about set for action. Grizzlies will start out with a forward line of Henri Schreifels with Sean Kennedy and John Gillette, and a defensive pairing of Robbie Stucker and Luke Salem. Dominic Bassey is going to get the start of net for the 3rd straight game. Bassey has done an outstanding job over the last 4 games, where he has a .928 save percentage, stopping 117 of 126. And for Greenville, it's going to be Matthias Scholl in net. It's the first time he's faced the Grizzlies. Scholl played at Bemidji State, and this is his first full season as a pro. This is his 18th game of the year. He has a record of 6-7-2 with a .921 save percentage and a 2.47 goals against average. Scholl also has 1 appearance in the American Hockey League with the Ontario Reign this season. Scholl played in 4 games with Greenville last year and had a .927 save percentage. Referee tonight is Ian Rapp. The linesmen are Tyler Keston and Craig Peterson. Grizzlies going to be skating from right to left as we see it from high top section 114 as Utah's in a specialty jersey. White numbers, white lettering, a little bit of red and navy blue mixed in, and a little bit of black on the top of the jerseys. Draws one by Greenville. And we got a fight right off the draw. Henri Schreifels and Jacob Modry. As Modry and Schreifels stare each other down. Modry grabs Schreifels and drags him to the ice. And the linesmen step in. So kind of an interesting start. Both guys dropped their gloves immediately. Neither guy threw a punch, and Modry just kind of whipped around Schreifels and kind of helicoptered him a little bit like it was John Elway in Super Bowl 32 and dragged him to the ice. And then the linesman stepped in before either guy threw a punch. So it looks like Modry and Schreifels are going to get 5 for fighting. And I think everybody was expecting punches on both sides and didn't really get anything. So there's an interesting way to start. It looks like Schreifels is going to get, well, right now the video board looks like both guys get, well, I can't call it a fight. Nobody really threw a punch. I guess they get double minors for roughing. So 4 minutes in the box. I can't call it a fight, Roger Orton says, but double minors for roughing each. For Schreifels for the Grizzlies and Modry for Greenville. As Swamp Rabbits run it down, we played about 20 seconds as neither team's taken a shot as of yet. As Modry's in the box for Greenville and Schreifels for the Grizzlies. As up ahead towards neutral ice. Puck kept the opposite in the high slot. John Gillette gets it, and he gets it tapped away. It's up and not out. Now right wing. Shot by TJ Sneath is blocked away. Swamp Rabbits slide it out towards center ice. Now they back it out into their own zone. Jake Murray wearing number 5 will float it in. He's a plus 13, but he floated it in before crossing center ice. The Swamp Rabbits are called for icing as we get a whistle 44 seconds in. Who's your pick to click? Who's going to be the player of the game for the Grizzlies? I'm going with Danny Genev, the first-year pro out of Penn State. If you're a Greenville fan, who do you think is going to get it done for the Swamp Rabbits? Keaton Mastrodonato's got 10 goals and 13 assists this year, and he leads all active Swamp Rabbits who are in the lineup. Cam Hausinger's out for the third straight game. Hausinger has 11 goals and 10 assists this season. Grizzlies win the draws. The puck is whipped around the boards. They're in the offensive zone, skating from right to left in the period. Greenville will saucer it ahead as it goes off the near wing boards. Hanson Bukata trying to get it to Grattan. It's past him and down for an icing. As we played 56 seconds into the final Guns and Hoses extravaganza in team history. Dominic Massey in net for the third straight game for the Grizzlies. Third game in 4 days for both teams. Greenville won 3-1 on Wednesday night. And then last night, a game that was pretty close to ending up in a shootout. Swamp Rabbits got a victory with 26 and a half seconds left in overtime. So draws in the left circle. It's won by Greenville. Josh Atkinson, lefty shot, gets redirected and goes wide. It looked like it kicked off the right pad of Dominic Massey. Now the Swamp Rabbits get it back up top. Atkinson slides to Tim Lovell, number 43, and Lovell gets back in deep to the right corner. As Swamp Rabbits over to the left wing is dancing around Ryan O'Hara, last night's hero. He fires towards the net. Blocker saved by Bassey. As Reed Lebster will cross center ice and he'll skip it in. Puck along the far wing board. Scholl stays in front of his net. As dancing around is Tim Lovell. He's an outstanding skater. He's a little jitterbug out on the ice, and he's as quick as it comes. As Iso guy over the offensive blue gets to O'Hara right wing. O'Hara lefty shot blocker saved by Bassey. Puck towards left wing, lefty shot saved by Bassey again. He holds on this time as the Swamp Rabbits have taken the first 3 shots tonight, and Bassey has stopped them all. Looks like Greenville's trying to go stick side on Bassey here early on. As Draw's going to be in the Grizzlies zone. Fans still filing in here, and I got to imagine they're going to be filing in here for just about the entire first period. So I got to imagine it's pretty packed in the parking lot. Great Saturday night crowds. No doubt this is going to be the biggest home crowd so far this season. Every year, Guns and Hoses night gets anywhere between 9,000 and 10,500 per game. As many as, I'd say, 10,400 or so. Grizzlies have the puck as Riley Connors strides along the left wing. Now stops, pivots. Now he veers off to his right point. Righty shot blocker saved by Scholl, and the puck goes out of play. As we played a minute 55, and there's still no score. Although the draw's going to come back to neutral ice as if the Grizzlies were offside, and everybody had a tough time hearing the whistle. Riley Connors all week has been lined up with Danny Genev and Mikey Coella. That is a pretty fast trio of forwards. Wallar and Gansky are the defensive pairing on the ice as the draw won by Greenville. Faceoffs have been pretty even in the first two games of this series. Rink-wide feed towards Polino at center ice. No fire it into the left corner. Swamp Rabbits in the offensive zone skating from left to right as Greenville center to Polino, and it's poked away by Wallar. Now left point. Berg will fire it off the boards. Gansky gathers it. Noah Gansky, the former Fort Wayne Comet, behind his back as he's behind Utah's net. Both teams slowing it down a little bit this weekend. Not a whole lot of run and gun on either side. As the puck slides out towards center ice, Lovell races after it deep in the Swamp Rapids zone. Now Lovell around his net as he's being chased from behind by Danny Genev. Lovell gets pushed towards the near wing boards by Coella. John Parker Jones over the offensive blue drops in the high slot. Grizzlies will tap it out to center ice. As the Swamp Rabbits will back it out into their own zone as Utah will switch up forwards. As Greenville crosses center ice, Murray will tap it off of Salem's stick. As Wade Murphy gets hit by Salem, now to the middle of the ice, Parker Jones off his stick, and diving in front of the crease to cover up is Bassey. Greenville couldn't get much of a shot off in front of the crease as the Swamp Rabbits have officially taken the first 5 shots on goal. Good job by Riley Connors, who's out in front of John Parker Jones to make sure the big 6'8" forward couldn't get a shot off. Grizzlies will be on the road 3 times next weekend against Tahoe. As Greenville wins the draw, they're wearing a white jersey, orange numbers, orange lettering, white helmets. Lovell chases after it. Scholl plays it in front of his net. As there's 16:50 on the moving clock, first period. Still no score. Swamp Rabbits have taken the first 5 shots. O'Reilly down the middle. He'll pitch it to his left off a stick as John Gillette was back-checking Wade Murphy. Puck towards the near corner. It's taken by Hanson Mukadu, who had 2 assists last night, and he leads the Grizzlies with 21 on the year. AHB out to center ice. He gets hit. As Hanson Mukadu gets it back, and he'll fire it in. As Grizzlies will switch up forwards. As it looks like Utah's keeping their shifts pretty short here early on in the first 3.5 minutes. Greenville looking for a 3-game sweep as Poisson, the main product. He was a teammate of Antonacci over the left wing. Lefty shot goes wide. As puck towards the right corner. Antonacci wearing number 3 gets it. As he gets pushed to the boards by Jack Brackett. Brackett now back checked by Antonacci. Right wing lefty shot. Saved by Bassey. And he holds on. That shot was taken by Ben Poisson, who's wearing number 12. If he had joined us late, goaltender Dylan Wells was recalled to the AHL's Tucson Roadrunners. And so with that in mind, the Grizzlies have an emergency backup named Reed Jacobson. So it's going to be Bassey tonight, barring an injury, as Jacobson's the emergency backup. Bassey has a .928 save percentage over his last 4 appearances. Still no score. Swamp Rapids have taken the first 7 shots. As Grizzlies get the puck, Reed Webster will chip it ahead as Friesen just couldn't reach it. Swamp Rapids back deep in their own zone as Friesen challenging Greenville in their own end. As the Swamp Rabbits now skate in front of their net and push it towards Remy Parker, number 22. Friesen takes it away from Parker. As Friesen centers, it was overled for Webster, so the puck goes towards the right corner. Webster and a Swamp Rabbit collide. Tyler Gratton with a big hit. As the Swamp Rabbits come back the other way, 3-on-3 over the offensive blue. As Brackett will curl it towards the right side. Remy Parker fires it wide over Bassey's head. As the Swamp Rabbits on the left point. As they make a change, keeping it in as the Swamp Rabbit gets spun around. Now Greenville will sky it deep into the Grizzly zone off the glass. As now the puck back to New Trice. Gratton chasing down a loose puck, but he gets cut off by Fraser. As out to the right wing, Ryan O'Hara over the offensive blue, 2-on-3. O'Hara trying to push it behind him, but it's taken away by Riley Connors for the Grizzlies. He's in his first full season as a pro. Out to center ice, Greenville gets it back. We played 5 minutes. Swamp Rabbits had the first 7 shots, but there's still no score. As Boilart gets hit by a Swamp Rabbit. Now he'll come off for a change. As Utah dumps it in. As Murray will plop it ahead. As Greenville will slide it to their left. Swamp Rabbits out towards center ice. O'Hara, I try to get to Isugai, and the puck off the skate back to center ice. Keaton Mastrodonado, the former Grizzly and Stillhead. He'll be back in Boise this upcoming week as the Swamp Rabbits will be in Idaho for a 3-game series next week. as Jake Murray head towards Polino at center ice. Polino had some good years with Cincinnati recently as Polino stops in the right point, and he'll curl the puck towards the right corner. Now behind Utah's net, Shandor battles with Stucker as Salem gets the puck in the right corner, sporting a mustache. He gets double-teamed, stuck in the area. Coella joins the play up top to level. He'll get it towards the left wing. Atkinson lefty shot, and he scores. Josh Atkinson just fired a low liner that went past the left ankle of Bassey. And just like that, the Swamp Rabbits take a 1-0 lead. Lovell got it towards Atkinson. Atkinson, it was just one of those where Bassey may have been leaning a little bit towards his right, and Atkinson kind of went back glove side, and maybe Bassey thought that Atkinson was going to fire it high, and Atkinson just kind of slid it on the ice. So Josh Atkinson gets his 5th of the year. We know that Tim Lovell's going to pick up one of the assists, and that will be his 12th of the season. As we have played 5 minutes and 59 seconds, Greenville's taken the first 8 shots, and that culminates in the Atkinson goal. He now has 5 on the year. As Greenville has the puck there in their own zone. As the Swamp Rabbits out towards center ice, O'Reilly moves it in as Bassey looks over his right shoulder. Grizzlies get it towards Henri Schreifels, and on the back check, Schreifels will curl it across towards Hanson Mukata. AHB across center ice, and he'll whip it around the boards. It hits the top of the wall, puck to the right point. Antonacci dancing back and forth. He's just outside the right circle. He fires a righty shot blocker, saved by Scholl. That's the first shot taken by the Grizzlies tonight. It was Luke Antonacci, who's averaging just over 1 shot per game in his 2-week stint with the Grizzlies. John Parker Jones collides with Schreifels as puck towards center ice. Boilar fires it back in and hits a stanchion and rolls to the right corner, which is the far side of the Swamp Rapids zone. Puck back to center ice. Greenville over the offensive blue as they skeet down the middle of the ice. Lefty shot. That's saved by Bassey. Shot was taken by Ben Poisson, who has 3 goals this season. We played 7 minutes. There's a scrum over in the left corner. And Swamp Rabbits 1, Utah 0. As Gansky collides with a Swamp Rabbit. Now Boilar gets pinned to the boards by Brackett as the scrum continues. Lebster in the area. Now Lebster gets the puck. He'll bounce off of Poisson, who collects it for Greenville. Poisson skates towards the point. Tried to lift it, and it ricocheted off of Grizzly. Now left wing lefty shot saved by Bassey. Now the puck is back up top. Swamp Rabbits get to Murray. He's in the right wing just outside the circle. Back up top. Berg over to the right side to Brackett. One-timer. He didn't get much on it. Miraculously, a stick didn't break. As Greenville towards the high slot. Brackett now will skate towards the bench. As Berg to the right wing. Backhand shot saved by Bassey. Rebound goes to Utah, and it's skied high into the air towards center ice. Puck hitting opposite the Utah logo at center ice. Lebster drops to Friesen. High slot lefty shot blocker saved by Scholl. Rebound goes towards Greenville. Mastrodonato races towards his left. He crosses center ice, and he wobbles it in off of Stucker. As Danny Genev gets the puck, he's my pick to click. He skates along the right wing. He gets dragged down by O'Hara. Fans wanted to call, none to be had. Swamp Rabbits out to center ice. Mastrodonato off of Connors. Those two talked during warm-ups. I got to find a way to get in touch with Mastrodonato after the game. Down the middle, lefty shot saved by Bass. That shot was taken by Iso guy. As puck towards Mikey Coella. Make that Genev. And he'll slide it across. Stucker couldn't reach it, and he gets it off the boards. Blue line to blue line, feed ahead to Coella. As Mikey Coella gets knocked down, now he gets back to his feet as he gets hit again by Atkinson. Coella pedals towards the back of Greenville's net. As Coella gets it towards the right side, Connors fires wide. Hanson Mukata left point. As Genev couldn't reach it, Connors now at the left goal line. As Grizzlies are on the offensive zone, Hanson Mukata gets it towards Genev. One-time tap hits the side of the cage. It was the near outside of the net. As the Swamp Rabbits will float it forward. Hit puck hitting opposite center ice. Antonacci taps it back towards the Grizzlies bench. Antonacci out towards Kennedy off his stick and into the Greenville bench near head coach Chad Costello. 10:51 left in the first. Greenville took a 1-0 lead after Josh Atkinson scored 5:59 in. Swamp Rabbits have outshot the Grizzlies 9-2. Timeout on the ice. We'll take one as well. This is the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
We're 20, and yeah, we're celebrating big. Because in 20 years, we didn't just make the gear. We made hockey cooler. They said we were too loud, too flashy, too different. They told us to tone it down. The Warriors don't tone it down. We go full throttle. And this is just the start. 20 years in and we're just getting warmed up. We're still the brand that makes the gear you can win in, chirping, partying. And if you thought we were bold before, just wait. The next 20 years start now.
Minutes and 51 seconds are left in the first period as Greenville leads 1-0. John's going to be at center ice after the puck ended up in the Greenville bench. As the Swamp Rabbits out towards center ice, as John Gillette gets hit near the Grizzlies bench. Now Noah Gansky will feather one across towards Sean Kennedy at center ice, and Kennedy will bounce it in onto Scholl, kicks it with his right pad as the Grizzlies skate from right to left here in the first period. Out to the right wing, Gansky centers it, but it goes between the legs of Schreifels. Sheriff comes back the other way. 2-on-2. Sheriff over the offense line. He's got good speed. He overskates the puck as Boilar slides it back to center ice, but the Swamp Rabbits get it back. Cole Fraser whips it around the boards. Puck goes to the left point. Modry collides with TJ Sneath. Sneath played with Topeka in the Federal League earlier this season. Now the puck will slide deeper into the Swamp Rabbits zone as the Grizzlies will fit in a line change. Utah's rolling with 10 forwards and 6 defensemen tonight. Last night they had 17 skaters, but Mike Gillette was unable to go. As Greenville back deep in their own zone, as Murray gets it towards Cole Fraser, he'll whip it angle left. As it's off the skate, taking it is Ryan O'Reilly down the middle of the ice. Righty shot, saved by Bassey. And he holds on with 9:42 left in the first. Ryan O'Reilly scored from the right circle on Wednesday. O'Reilly has 8 goals and 6 assists in 37 games. So Draw's going to be over in the right circle as the crowd is still filing in here, and I got to imagine they're going to be filing in here throughout the rest of this first period. As Friesen will take the draw against O'Reilly, and it's won by Evan Friesen and the Grizzlies. Now the puck back towards Wade Murphy, who centers it. Lepser takes it away. Lepser gets double teamed. He gets his stick lifted. Swamp Rabbits get it back. Not a lot of offensive zone time for the Grizzlies here so far as Jake Murray gets around Lepster. Now Murray will feed it to his left, hot pass to John Parker Jones. He tried to curl it ahead towards Ryan O'Reilly. Lepster couldn't reach it, and Greenville has it back. Murphy at center ice will float one into the middle as Stucker will clear it back to center ice, but the Swamp Rabbits get it back. As Greenville back at their blue line as they'll back it out. Swamp Rabbits do like to play a controlled brand of hockey. Up ahead to John Parker Jones at center ice. He'll spin one ahead looking for Wade Murphy. Salem gets it back deep into the Swamp Rabbit zone at the end of his shift as he comes off. Greenville will sky it to center ice by kipping it off to Antonacci at the Utah line. He'll get it across to Hanson Mukata ahead to Genev left wing. Genev moves to his right for Connors. Connors with a big-time hit on a Swamp Rabbit as Greenville back behind their own net. Atkinson couldn't reach the puck at neutral ice. Hanson Bukata, he will fly it towards the right corner where Atkinson gets it off the boards. Josh Atkinson's got the lone goal tonight, 5:59 into the first period. Greenville nudges it ahead. Hanson Bukata over to Genev at center ice. Genev accelerates over the offensive blue as the puck taps towards the right corner. Genev avoids Atkinson's check as Atkinson crashed himself along the glass. Puck along the near boards. Connors gets belted by Jack Brackett. Boy, the hitting's starting to pick up about 12 minutes in. Connors left side, his righty shot's blocked. It was blocked by the stick of Tim Lovell. As Brackett towards center ice, and he'll throw it in slowly as both teams will switch up skaters. As there's 7:50 on the moving clock, Greenville still leads 1-0. Gansky dumps it into the right corner as the puck wobbles on its side like a spinning top. As Friesen off his stick, it goes towards Isugai, moves it in off of Masher Donato's stick. As Gansky ahead towards Schreifels near the center ice logo. Schreifels collides with the Swamp Rabbit as Isugai gets pushed by Gansky off the puck. As Schreifels, he gets tripped up at center ice by O'Hara. Grizzlies down the middle of the ice. Shot misses. That was taken by John Gillette, who's got 7 goals this season. As the puck's towards the right corner, Kennedy in the area as he gets nudged in the side by O'Hara. Gillette joins the play as actions in the offensive zone for the Grizzlies as Modry and Gillette just kind of survey at the right circle as the scrum continues. As there's 7:04 left in the first period. Grizzlies up with it. Gillette across to Stucker. His one-timer goes wide as Mastrodonato was in front of Stucker. Now right wing Grizzlies get it across off of Mastrodonato's stick. And Mastrodonato gathers the puck. He played his college hockey at Canisius, did Keaton Mastrodonato. He crosses center ice and whips it around the boards. Webster off his stick. Webster played with a couple different colleges, including Michigan State University. As scrum over in the far corner. Webster gets the puck. He'll skate towards the point. Greenville takes it away. Lefty shot goes wide. As Jake Murray for the Swamp Rabbits. He's an outstanding D-man. Plus 13 this season down the middle of the ice. Lefty shot sticked away by Gratton. Now Murray left point. He'll bounce one in. Puck up and opposite the right circle. Now up top. As Berg, his lefty shot is blocked. It was blocked by Evan Friesen. He'll move it towards his left at the Greenville line. Gratton gets it tapped away by Berg. Greenville re-enters. Sheriff left wing. Righty shot and he scores. As Dante Sheriff does a celebration as he's fired up. Sheriff scored on a low liner from the left wing to give the Swamp Rabbits a 2-0 lead. As puck ended up to Shandor, and he backhanded it across to Sheriff, who had all sorts of momentum. Sheriff got towards the left circle and fired it past Bassey. So Josh Atkinson got Greenville on the board, 5:59 in. And Dante Sheriff, 13:57 in. He gets his second of the series and seventh of the year. Shandor and Patrick Polino picked up the assists. So it's 2-0 Greenville as Utah's looking for their first home victory of the 2026 calendar year. Utah dumps it in. It's been a tough month of January, and obviously the calendar will turn to February tomorrow. And the Grizzlies will start anew, hoping to generate some good hockey. And they want to get that going here later on in the first period. As Antonacci crosses center ice, and he'll fire it around the boards. As Atkinson gets there a stride ahead of Riley Connors. Atkinson collides with Coella as Big John Parker Jones. Listed at 6'7". He looks like he's a bit closer to 6'9". As he gets it, the Swamp Rabbits trying to skate over the offensive line down the middle, and they get tripped up, and it looks like it's going to be a penalty on Utah. Danny Genev can't believe it, but he gets 2 minutes for tripping as there's 5:29 left in the first period. Greenville leads 2-0 on goals from Josh Atkinson and Dante Sheriff. This is the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Grisby commutes to work by riding UTA. It gives him time to make friends and relax before arriving to the Maverick Center. But how can Grisby keep enjoying that feeling throughout the entire day? An idea! Utah Transit Authority, proud sponsors of the Utah Grizzlies.
Every new day is a chance to be kinder to your body and your mind. U of U Health is here to help you build strength and confidence every day. Let us help you be a better you. U of U Health, official health partner for the Utah Jazz, Utah Hockey Club, Utes Athletics, and the Utah Grizzlies. Take the first step today at uofuhealth.org.
5 minutes and 29 seconds are left in the first period. Greenville's on the power play for the first time tonight. They are an even 12% on the power play this season. Grizzlies' penalty kill is an even 79%. Danny Genev gets 2 minutes for tripping, 14:31 into the first period. So it's a critical penalty kill for the Grizzlies here early on to try to stay within striking range. So face-off's over in the right circle, and it's won by Greenville. As Atkinson gets towards Mastrodonato, whips it around the boards as puck goes towards the left side. Grizzlies have 5 shorthanded goals this season as Greenville will back it out into their own zone. So Swamp Rabbits. Kentai Isogai out of Nagano, Japan, drops it back. Now rink-wide feed angle left, goes tape to Plano. Now to Murphy down the middle. Righty shot is blocked. It was blocked by Stucker. Grizzlies will slice it all the way towards Matthias Scholl. Matthias Scholl's brother, Thomas Scholl, the former longtime goaltender of the Idaho Steelheads. Scholl played at Bemidji State. As Josh Atkinson, the 10th-year pro, crosses center ice down the middle. He'll chip it his left to Plino over the offensive blue. As Grattan and Lebster battle with them. Lebster's got 2 shorthanded goals this season. Lebster with the puck in the right circle. Lebster dangles back and forth. Righty shot. Saved by Scholl. And after the whistle, the Swamp Rabbits are attacking Reed Lebster. And now Tyler Grattan getting after it with a Swamp Rabbit. As Lebster had the audacity to try to follow his own shot. As Lebster got hit up high by a Swamp Rabbit. And Lebster talking with referee Ian Rapp, hoping to get a penalty. As Lebster had a ton of momentum, and Scholl, he came well out of his crease to try to cut off the shooting angle, and Scholl made a nice save. Looked like Lebster tried to go low on Scholl, and Scholl, with a lot of lower body quickness, was just able to find a way to close the 5-hole quickly. So a penalty is going to be called on Isogai, but Lebster's also going to the penalty box. So it looks like Lebster's in the box. He joins Danny Genev, and Isogai's in the box for the Swamp Rabbits. And with that, it's still a 5-on-4 power play for Greenville. There's exactly 1 minute left in the 5-on-4 power play. Drozgame in the right circle of the Swamp Rabbit zone. Grizzlies looking to find a way to change momentum here in this game. It'd be fun to see what the official attendance total is, as we've definitely got more than 9,000, maybe close to 10,000 here tonight. Grizzlies win the draw. Tyler Grattan gets up top. Salem will feed it to the middle of the ice, but it goes past Evan Friesen. And as the Swamp Rabbits still on the power play, 5-on-4, get it to center ice. O'Hara, last night's hero, over the offensive blue, trying to get the Sheriff, but delayed offside, so they let Salem play it. Luke Salem out to center ice off a Berg stick. Now Salem gets to the Greenville line before losing control of the puck up top. Hanson Buchanan fires towards the net, and it's gloved by Matthias Scholl. Grizzlies will get 4 fresh tires on their penalty kill. Less than 4 minutes left in the first period. Swamp Rabbits lead 2-0. As Berg over the offensive blue gets it to the right point. Level over towards Shandor. Shandor wearing number 17. Now Berg over in the right corner, back up top to Shandor. Up top towards Level. 15 seconds left in the power play over to Berg. That's Patrick Berg back to Level, who dances around. Number 43 will get it back to Berg. 5 seconds left in the power play. Over to Sheriff in the left wing. Sheriff tried to feather one across towards Level. It's picked off, and the Grizzlies clear it out as Genev comes out of the box. So we're back to skating 5-on-5 as there's 3:23 on a moving clock. Turnover, Genev took it away. I skated towards the right corner and tried to center it as he gets hit by Cole Fraser. As Genev lost his helmet, and now he's got to skate towards the bench, as he can't play without a helmet, as this helmet is laying behind Greenville's net. Right wing, righty shot, and that one goes wide. Shot was taken by Luke Antonacci. As Kennedy got hit up high, as Greenville back towards the left wing. And the referees are getting the officials are getting their report cards from the fans here in the stands, and it doesn't look like a passing grade. As Utah ahead looking for Hanson Buchanan. It was overled for him. Less than 3 minutes left in the first period. As now in the Grizzlies zone, Hanson Buchanan will tap it off the glass as Kennedy gloves it and drops it. Connors, he's in the high slot. He fires a righty shot that goes high. As back behind the net. 2-on-2 battle. As Schreifels up top towards Boilar. Boilar left wing, lefty shot goes wide. Gansky over in the right point as he gets the puck as he was battling with Remy Parker. Back towards the corner. Schreifels trying to get to Connors. It's past him and all the way down into the Grizzlies zone. Grizzlies slice one towards John Parker Jones as he battles with Connors. O'Reilly rolls it along the boards in the Grizzlies zone. Less than 2 minutes left in the first period. Swamp Rabbits lead 2-0 on goals from Josh Atkinson and Dante Sheriff. As Grattan didn't have a stick, so he played soccer towards the right corner of the Grizzlies zone. Boilar from one corner to the other as Gansky gets hit in the shoulder by John Parker Jones. As Grattan trying to break free along with Boilar. Boilar cuts off a Swamp Rabbits pursuit. The two, Boilar, wearing number 27, zips one ahead, angle right. As Grattan gets the puck, the Grizzlies captain. I look to center it out in front to Coella. It kicks off a skate. 2-on-2 Swamp Rabbits over the offensive blue. Murphy left wing, backhands it towards the net and misses. He was maybe looking for John Parker Jones to cut towards the net to receive the pass. As taking the puck is Luke Salem. He strides along the left wing, 1-on-3. Salem over the offensive blue. Teammate of the Grizzlies made a line change around him. Salem tried to roll it around Greenville's net and hits Danny Geniev's empty helmet, which is behind Greenville's net. As puck goes back towards the right point of the Swamp Rabbits zone, Greenville will slice one, angle right to Masha Donato. Hands to Buchanan, took it away from him. As AHB will skip it deep in the Swamp Rabbits zone. Greenville whips it around the far wing boards. Now high slot. Sneath will chip it back in. As Greenville will slide it ahead. Gillette backhands it to the middle of the ice. And it's poked away by Greenville. Masha Donato ahead to Shandor, who races after it. He tries to close the gap on Antonacci. They both get to the puck about the same time in the far corner. 30 seconds left in the period. As now the Swamp Rabbits will back it out into their own end. Swamp Rabbits have won the puck possession battle here in the first period. They lead 2-0. They've outshot the Grizzlies 11-4. Utah's looking for something to change the momentum in this game. There's 13 seconds left in the period. Parker Berg down the middle of the ice. And he'll float it in as the puck ricochets on the boards off one hop off the ice. As left point level across. One-timer by Berg. Blocker saved by Bassey at the buzzer. Shot by Masha Donato. Saved by Bassey. So they'll do it for 20 minutes here at Maverick Center as the Swamp Rapids ended up with 12 shots to the Grizzlies 4. Josh Atkinson found the back of the net, 5:59 in. And then Dante Sheriff made it 2-0 as he scored 13:57 in. So recap the first 20 minutes of play and also go over some league scores. What a fun night of hockey it's been here so far at Maverick Center. It's Greenville that's got a 2-goal lead, and the Grizzlies will be looking for a second period comeback. Fans are headed for the concession stands, and by far we have our largest home crowd so far in the regular season. After one period, it's the Greenville Swamp Rabbits 2 and the Utah Grizzlies nothing. It's the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Tonight's game is brought to you by the ECHL, celebrating its 38th season of affordable family entertainment. The ECHL would like to thank everyone in attendance for your support of ECHL hockey. The ECHL would also like to recognize the following league sponsors: AMI Graphics, exclusive signage provider; Athletic Knit, official jersey supplier; Baron Rings, official championship ring supplier; BFL Canada Insurance and Sutton Special Risk, sponsors of the 2026 ECHL Hall of Fame induction ceremony; Dash, official mobile auction platform; The Fairley Group, official commercial insurance provider; Flow Sports, exclusive streaming provider; Hotel Planner, official hotel reservations partner; Howie's Hockey Tape, exclusive hockey tape and lace provider; In Glasgow, exclusive puck provider; Prolific One, exclusive secondary ticketing partner; and Warrior, exclusive on-ice equipment provider and title sponsor of the 2026 ECHL All-Star Classic. Catch all of the ECHL action live in high definition by logging on to flowhockey.tv.
We're 20, and yeah, we're celebrating big. Because in 20 years, we didn't just make the gear. We made hockey cooler. They said we were too loud, too flashy, too different. They told us to tone it down. The Warriors don't tone it down. We go full throttle. And this is just the start. 20 years in and we're just getting warmed up. We're still the brand that makes the gear you can win in, chirping, partying. And if you thought we were bold before, just wait. The next 20 years start now.
After 20 minutes here at Maverick Center, it's the Greenville Swamp Rabbits 2 and the Utah Grizzlies nothing. Swamp Rabbits with 12 shots in the first period to the Grizzlies 4. Josh Atkinson got the Swamp Rabbits on the board, 5:59 in, with Tim Lovell picking up the assist. Oddly enough, at the very start of the game, right off the opening faceoff, gloves were dropped as Jacob Modry of Greenville and Henri Schreifels of the Grizzlies. It appeared that we were going to get a fight right off the bat. However, they both stared each other down. Then Modry and Schreifels tied up, and then Modry just kind of spun around Schreifels, got him to the ice, laid on top of him, and waited for the linesman to separate the two. And so nobody threw a punch, and so you can't say that they got in a fight because there really was no fight. as nobody threw a punch. It was just Modry dragging down Schreifels, and both guys got double minors for roughing 4 seconds into the game. So it was just kind of an odd way to start. Everybody was excited. Everybody's thinking, all right, we're going to get a fight right here. Big crowd. And then when the fight was over, nobody really applauded or anything. It was just kind of like, I guess that's what it was. And so it was kind of what do they call it? An inauspicious start. That's exactly what that was. 4 seconds into the game just turned out to be double minors for roughing or whatever. They had to call it roughing because they had to call it something. But nevertheless, that was an interesting way to get things underway. And then 5:59 into the first when the Swamp Rabbits took a 1-0 lead as Greenville captain Josh Atkinson just kind of fired a low liner. I'm not sure the puck even got off the ice. Bassey might have been expecting Atkinson to go a little bit high, and Atkinson just kind of slid it on the ice past Bassey for the game's first goal. And then the Swamp Rabbits made it a 2-0 game as they were in the transition game. Shandor had the puck in the right wing, got it across to Sheriff. Sheriff was in the left circle, probably even in the left dot, and he fired a low liner past Bassey, and that was 13:53 into the first. So that made it a 2-0 game as Sheriff got his 7th of the year. Shandor and Patrick Polino with the assists. Danny Genev got a tripping minor, 14:31 into the first. Kenta Isogai and Reed Lepster each picked up a penalty, 15:31 in. Isogai got a roughing minor and Lepster got a slash. And so in terms of power plays, Greenville's 0 for 1. Utah hasn't had a power play yet. Neither team with a power play shot. The Grizzlies did get one shorthanded shot, and that was by Lepster. That immediately led to Lepster's penalty, 15:31 in. In terms of scoring chances, Greenville had 6 and the Grizzlies had 1 as Utah had a tough time just getting the puck past neutral ice and getting it into the offensive zone. Not many faceoffs in the first period. Grizzlies won 8 and Greenville had 4 faceoff wins in the first period. And there were a ton of hits in the first 20 minutes of play. Grizzlies with 12 hits to Greenville's 13. So we'll see if the Grizzlies have a second period comeback in them as Greenville's looking for a 3-game sweep after winning 3-1 on Wednesday. And last night it was a 3-2 overtime game, and it was certainly a ton of fun. I think a lot of fans were thinking that we might have had a shootout as we had gone through 6.5 minutes worth of overtime before Ryan O'Hara scored. Officially, it was listed as 6:33 into OT to give the Swamp Rabbits a 3-0 victory. In terms of the 4 shots for Utah, Luke Antonacci, Evan Friesen, Sean Kennedy, and Reed Lepster each had 1. For the Swamp Rabbits in their 12 shots, Patrick Berg had 3, Ryan O'Hara and Josh Atkinson had 2, and 7 other Swamp Rabbits with 1 shot through 20 minutes of play. As for watching on Flow Sports, there's the stats of the first period. 6 shots, 6 scoring chances for Greenville, 1 for the Grizzlies. Only 12 faceoffs in the first period. The Grizzlies won 8 of the 12. The faceoff circle had been pretty close to even in the first 2 games of the series, and the Grizzlies with a slight edge here tonight. And a lot of that is Riley Connors and Evan Friesen winning a few faceoffs, as well as John Gillette winning a couple in the first period. A lot of hits in the first frame, 13 for Greenville, 12 for Utah. Grizzlies had 4 giveaways, and the Swamp Rabbits had 3 in the first 20 minutes of play. Great crowd here on a Saturday night. In fact, despite it being intermission time, there's many people who are still in their seats. As we've got a great atmosphere here for hockey. It's one of 2 games in professional hockey in the state of Utah and in the Salt Lake Valley, as the Utah Mammoth are in action taking on the Dallas Stars. We'll go over those scores in a couple minutes, but first let's check in on teams in the 4-letter league. Let's check Mountain Division scores. After 2 periods at BOK Center, Idaho leads Tulsa 4-1. Ty Pelton, Bice, Brendan Hoffman, Caleb Pearson, and Angus McDonnell each have goals. The Greenville Swamp Rabbits will be in Boise for a 3-game series next week. Tulsa's lone goal is scored by Tyler Polson, the former Rapid City forward. After 2 periods over at Credit Union of Texas Event Center, Allen leads Rapid City 2-0 as Sam Sedley and Colby McCauley each have a goal. Early 3rd period, Fort Wayne leads Tahoe 4-0. Finals across the league, Kalamazoo gets 3 goals from Walker. as they defeat Toledo 3-2. Trois-Rivières defeats Jeff Carr's Norfolk Admirals 6-3. As Trois-Rivières, the defending champions, are now 16-19-0-3 on the year. In a Mountain Division showdown this afternoon at Cable Dama Arena, Kansas City defeats Wichita 5-3 as Jake McLaughlin scored 2 goals for the Mavericks. Kansas City has now won 15 of their last 16 games. Riding over Greensboro, 2-1 the final there. South Carolina defeats Jacksonville 4-1. Indy and Iowa are currently headed to overtime, tied at 2. Florida gets a 5-1 victory over Guy Krenza and Jared Youngman's Atlanta Gladiators. So the Everblades come away with the victory, 5-1 the final there. The goaltender for Florida was Cam Johnson, who saved 24 of 25. Backup goaltender tonight for Florida was Will Cranley. Kyle Betts was a +1 for the Everblades in the victory. A couple other finals. Maine over Adirondack, 6-3. In overtime, Worcester gets a 3-2 win over Wheeling as Anthony Rapace picked up the overtime game winner, 2:31 in. 2 other finals, Cincinnati over Bloomington, 2-1, and Orlando gets a 3-2 victory over the Savannah Ghost Pirates. When we come back, we'll check in on those living the dream as it's a busy night in the National Hockey League. The Grizzlies NHL affiliate, the Colorado Avalanche, are in action earlier today, taking on their rivals, the Detroit Red Wings. After one period here at Maverick Center, it's the Greenville Swamp Rabbits 2 and the Utah Grizzlies 0. This is the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
From commercial to recreational truck accessories, Mountain Land Truck Outfitters has got what you need. Flatbeds, spray and bed liners, lifts and leveling kits, wheels and tires. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters proudly uses a brand you know and trust. And with our experienced, knowledgeable, and friendly staff, your visit here will be informative and enjoyable. Stop into our convenient location in Provo at 265 South 100 West or call 801-225-4637 to get a quote for your fleet or individual truck. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters.
Every new day is a chance to be kinder to your body and your mind. U of U Health is here to help you build strength and confidence every day. Let us help you be a better you. U of U Health, official health partner for the Utah Jazz, Utah Hockey Club, Utes Athletics, and the Utah Grizzlies. Take the first step today at uofuhealth.org.
After one period, Greenville leads Utah 2-0. Action over at Delta Center after one period. The Dallas Stars lead the Utah Mammoth 3-1. Thomas Harley, Wyatt Johnston, and Matt Duchesne each have a goal for the Dallas Stars. Utah's tally was scored by Kyler Yamamoto. That was 10:23 into the first period, with J.J. Paterka and John Marino getting the assists. Dallas with 10 shots in the first period, and they scored 3 times. After one period over at Delta Center, it's Dallas 3 and Utah 1. Finals in the National Hockey League, the Grizzlies NHL affiliate, the Colorado Avalanche, picked up a 5-0 shutout victory over the Detroit Red Wings. Nathan McKinnon had 2 goals and 1 assist. Brent Burns had 1 goal, and Mackenzie Blackwood pitched a 28-save shutout as Colorado gets the victory on the road on national TV, 5-0 over the Detroit Red Wings. Maple Leafs and Canucks are currently in a shootout. That game is tied at 2. Finals in the NHL, Kings over the Flyers 3-2, and the overtime game winner was scored by Quentin Byfield, 2:48 in. Penguins hold on to defeat the Rangers 6-5 as the Rangers' tough luck just continues this season as they lose by 6-5 to the Pittsburgh Penguins. Jets over the Panthers 2-1. Flames defeat the Sharks 3-2. Capitals over the Hurricanes 4-3. Capitals get a 1-goal victory. Canadians over the Sabres 4-2. Senators defeat the Devils 4-1. Predators over the Islanders 4-3. Blue Jackets get a 5-3 victory over the St. Louis Blues. Action starting in a few minutes at 8 o'clock. The Wild are at the Oilers, and the Seattle Kraken are at the Vegas Golden Knights. So that's action across the National Hockey League. I know tomorrow I'm going to be looking forward to watching the Bruins and Lightning, a meeting in the outdoor game in Tampa, Florida, and that should be a ton of fun. That's going to be Sunday evening on ABC. Hopefully Charles Edward Nass, who's going to be good enough to go, as he was injured with a lower body injury. That was about a week ago, and he hasn't been in the Tampa lineup over the last handful of games. So hopefully Charles Edward Nass will be healthy enough to play tomorrow in the Outdoor Classic, the Stadium Series, as the Lightning take on the Boston Bruins. Great Saturday night crowd. And every time the Grizzlies have had a Guns N' Hoses extravaganza over the years, we have had crowds of over 9,000. In fact, many crowds, many years over 10,000 here on Guns N' Hoses night. As regardless of what happens on the scoreboard over the next 40 minutes of play, it's already been an overwhelming success. There were 3 charity games in the afternoon. There was somewhere between 3,000 and 4,000, it seemed like, for each of the charity games. The first charity game was a 5-5 tie, and then the next 2 charity games were won by the Hoses. As the Hoses got 2 victories. Not sure what the score was of the second charity game, but the third and final game at a final score of 11-3. We'll come back and have second period action on the other side, and we'll see if the Grizzlies can get a little bit of momentum and find their way onto the scoreboard. You've been tuned into the first intermission report on the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Grisby commutes to work by riding UTA. It gives him time to make friends and relax before arriving to the Maverick Center. But how can Grisby keep enjoying that feeling throughout the entire day? An idea! Utah Transit Authority, proud sponsors of the Utah Grizzlies.
Every new day is a chance to be kinder to your body and your mind. U of U Health is here to help you build strength and confidence every day. Let us help you be a better you. U of U Health, official health partner for the Utah Jazz, Utah Hockey Club, Utes Athletics, and the Utah Grizzlies. Take the first step today at uofuhealth.org.
Since 1939, America First has helped people start businesses, buy homes and cars, and achieve their financial goals. Today, our top priority is still the financial success of you and your family, which is why we're giving new members $100 when they sign up for a basic savings and checking account, and another $100 when they upgrade to premium checking and enroll in and use direct deposit. So head to AmericaFirst.com today and join the credit union that always puts its members first.
Les Schwab changed the tire game more than 70 years ago. Today, we still believe you should get more from less. Like more hustle, less hassle. More of the best service around, less of the runaround. Because we include America's best tire warranty in every tire we sell. So you get more unbeatable warranty, less charging you extra. It's why we're more than proud to say, you get more from less.
Now we're about set for second period action here at Maverick Center. Here on Guns N' Hoses night as Greenville leads Utah 2-0. Swamp Rabbits with 12 shots, the Grizzlies 4. Luke Antonacci, Evan Friesen, Sean Kennedy, and Reed Lepster each had 1 shot in the first period. Dominic Massey saved 10 of 12 for the Grizzlies in the first period, and Matthias Scholl stopped all 4 shots he saw. Scholl isn't a very big goaltender, listed at 5'11" and 180 pounds, but he does have a quick lower half. Grizzlies in the second period will skate from left to right as we see it from high top section 114. It's going to be a forward line of Evan Friesen with Tyler Granton and Reed Webster, and a starting defensive pairing of Luke Salem and Robbie Stucker. Ton of noise here at Maverick Center. Crowd of well over 9,000. As a faceoff won by Utah, but it goes over Salem's stick as he'll chase after it. Brackett closed the gap in the right corner. Brackett and Salem collide over along the right corner boards. As over to the right goal line, Swamp Rabbits get a knifed away by Bassey as Salem gets the puck. As he gets hit by Poisson, the main product. Grizzlies come up with it as Stucker feeds to his left off the stick of Friesen. Now Friesen dangling back and forth, just kind of hanging out at neutral ice, waiting for Gratton to tag up. Friesen trying to sweep one towards Gratton, who gets to Webster. Webster down the middle of the ice, righty shot, saved by Scholl. Webster gets it back, and he'll wing it along the boards. Hanson Buchanan collects it around the Greenville bench. He'll get it across to Stucker. Ahead to Webster at the Greenville line. Now Webster will push it back into the Grizzly zone as Webster shakes his wrist back and forth as he got slashed by Cole Fraser. Connors over the offensive blue, skates towards the right side. He fires a righty shot that goes wide. Boy, Connors got a great burst here tonight. Webster hits the top of the glass, hits a stanchion as Fraser gets it before Genev could collect the puck. As Greenville, long-range feed as it goes deep in the Grizzly zone and icing on Greenville with 18:47 left in the second. So Draw's going to come back towards Matthias Scholl as Grizzlies took the first shot of the second period. The fans coming back from the concession stands. And no doubt this is the largest home crowd the Grizzlies have had in quite some time, probably dating back towards the end of last season. This fan appreciation night, there was a pretty good crowd, but I believe this is the largest crowd since then. As Grizzlies have the puck in the offensive zones, they drop it towards Hanson Buchanan, who feeds it to the right corner. As Coelho off the boards, he gets hit by Ryan O'Hara. As looked like Coelho trying to keep his feet moving. Puck deflects out of play as Connors and Fraser were battling for the puck behind Greenville's net. Grizzlies coaches John Buchanan and Ryan Anderson talking strategy behind Utah's bench. As faceoff's going to be over in the left circle as Riley Connors will take the draw for Utah. There's John Buchanan if you're watching on Flow Sports, first-year head coach. Arms folded, trying to see if the Grizzlies can generate some offense here in the second period. Genev trying to throw it up top, but Gansky was skating towards the middle of the ice. As puck back towards Boilar. As he backhands it off the Greenville skate. Now Mastrodonato gets cut off by Boilar. As Coelho couldn't get across center ice with the puck. Mastrodonato off his stick. Coelho over the offensive blue. Left wing. Lefty shot kick saved by Scholl. Rebound. Second attempt by Connors. He didn't get much on it. As Gansky back behind Greenville's net. Loose puck towards the corner. As now Genev chasing after it behind Greenville's net. Swamp Rabbits up with it. Isogai will toss it towards his right. Murray will bounce one in, and the puck just kind of takes a couple strange hops off the ice. Over in the left corner, Grizzlies will saucer it ahead. Murray, left point. He fires lefty shot wide. As Atkinson centers it, glanced off the stick. Sheriff down the middle of the ice, veers off to his left. He'll drop it back for Murray. Murray feathers one out in front and goes wide as he was thinking about a pass, but was firing towards the net. Schreifels with the puck crosses center ice, and he'll globe it in. As the puck ricochets off the boards on one hop of the ice. As Greenville along the left wing. Atkinson crosses the center red line. Now he veers off to his right. Atkinson on side in the right wing. He'll throw it to the corner and chase after it. John Gillette gets it past Kennedy as it goes all the way down along the far wing boards. Lovell will hustle after it. As Tim Lovell gets the puck, no icing as we play on. As we are about 3 minutes into the second period. Still 2-0 Greenville. Grizzlies have taken the first two shots of this second period. As Sheriff gets hit by Gratton. And the Swamp Rabbits dump it in. Puck towards the right corner. Polino engulfs the Grizzly. As the puck wobbles towards the near point. Schreifels tried to curl it ahead towards Friesen. It's taken away by the Swamp Rabbits. Polino enters from the right side. He stops at the point. Dances back and forth. Now Polito will skate towards his left. He'll drop it out. Modry lefty shot saved by Bassey. As he just casually holds on. And stops play with 16:31 left in the second. So the Modry shot from the high slots, the first one taken by Greenville so far in the second period. What's on tap for the Grizzlies this week? As next week they're going to be in Tahoe for a 3-game series against the Night Monsters, February 4th, 6th, and 7th. Face off all 3 nights will be at 8 o'clock. Then the Grizzlies will be home for 4 straight games beginning on Tuesday, February 10th against the Idaho Steelheads. That's the makeup game from December 26th, the day after Christmas, that was postponed due to the player strike. Face-off won by Greenville as they'll lift it over Bassey's head as the puck ricochets off the glass. As taking the puck is TJ Sneath, number 74. He'll fire it off the glass ahead to the Grizzlies bench. Swamp Rabbits back up with it along the left wing. As puck is dropped towards Ryan O'Reilly. Look to center it off of Antonacci's stick. Puck slides back towards the left corner. Up top, Modry. Across to Fraser. They'll take a righty shot, saved by Bassey. And he holds on as he makes the save about shoulder high as there's 16:04 left in the second. So both teams now taking 2 shots here in the second period. It's game 42 of 72. And for the Grizzlies, it's just their 17th home game of the year. The next homestand for the Grizzlies, that February 10th game, which is a makeup date from December 26th. And then the Bloomington Bison will be in town for a 3-game series, February 13th, 14th, and 16th. Make sure to get your tickets at UtahGrizzlies.com. Face off in the right circle of the Grizzlies zone is won by Utah's Gansky. Skates around his own net. Gansky will saucer it ahead. It's picked off at center ice by Cole Fraser, who's actually played pretty well this series. Greenville towards the left goal line. Now around the net goes Wade Murphy, the former Steelhead who played 3 years in Idaho. Right wing, righty shot saved by Bassey. Shot was taken by Fraser. Over towards the left goal line as O'Reilly will drop it back to a spot he vacated. Now centering pass O'Reilly off his stick as he was occupied by Noah Gansky. Now Mikey Coelho with the puck. He'll race along the near wing. He crosses center ice and dumps it in. He gets around Modry as Coelho gets pushed to the boards by Fraser. As puck back towards the far wing as John Parker Jones collides with the Grizzly. Jania fires lefty shot, saved by Scholl. He holds on as that shot was taken from near the left wing boards. Just a prayer towards the net, and it was gloved by Matthias Scholl. So for Daniel Jania, he comes off the ice for a change. Sure, Danny Genev was thinking about Penn State University this weekend as they played their outdoor game over at the Penn State football stadium. I believe they played Michigan State, although it looked like Michigan State was the one that got the victory in the outdoor game. Face-off won by Utah. Salem left point is shot. Gets redirected by a stick and it flies out of play off the protective netting as there's 15:07 left in the second. So we only had 12 face-offs in the first period. We've had quite a few here so far, though, in the first 5 minutes of the second period. So face-off's going to be over in the left circle. John Gillette will take the draw. Gillette from Holy Cross. Kennedy and Henri Schreifels taking the other forwards. As Gillette kind of falls in the circle with the puck nearby. Everybody Johnson from position. Now it goes up top. Salem, his shot's blocked towards the left circle as the fans start the wave here at Maverick Center. I don't know. It looked like it tried to get started in section 114 as now the whistle blows as we have 14:50 left in the second. Looks like section 114 is trying to get a wave started, but it doesn't look like it is carrying on across towards section 115 and beyond. It actually looks like it's Grisby trying to get the wave started. I mean, Grisby did originate in the 1990s. Hey, Grisby got the wave started. And we have got a full-fledged wave here at Maverick Center. I believe it's the first wave we've seen this season. Grisby's fired up. After all, back when he was born in 1995, the wave was a thing. So 14:50s left in the second period. I haven't seen a wave this good since I was at Coors Field last season. Back in August of 2025 when they played the Dodgers. As Grizzlies with the puck, Robbie Stucker gets it towards Gratton, left wing at center ice. Gratton gets it taken away. Greenville leads 2-0. Murray over to Mastrodonado, to Isugai off his skate, as Stucker around the boards towards Lebster. Lebster, I thought about getting ahead to Gratton, but there was just too many Greenville bodies in the way, as Gratton was skied into the right corner and goes out of play as Gratton got too much air under it. He stops play with 14:20 left in the second. So faceoff's going to be at center ice. Second straight game where there was just one referee. On Wednesday night, there was Rocco Stakoviak along with Ian Rapp. And yesterday and today, it's just been Ian Rapp as the lone referee. The faceoffs at center ice for the Grizzlies, who are rolling with 16 skaters tonight, 10 forwards and 6D. As Mikey Coella and Kenta Isugai at the faceoff circle. Tyler Keston telling those two to play nice. Isugai leans on Gillette a little bit, or Coella, as O'Hara's kicked out of the faceoff circle. Now Keaton Mastrodonado will take the draw against Riley Connors. 14:20 is the time remaining in the second period. And remember, you can bid on those Grizzlies game-worn jerseys. The auction will end in about an hour, so you're going to want to make sure to bid on those right here and right now. As Connors' right side is shot, is squibbed towards Scholl, as Mastrodonado might have gotten a stick in the way as the puck is lofted out to center ice. Antonacci got hit from behind by O'Hara as Massey comes off the ice, delayed offside, as O'Hara took the puck away from Antonacci. The whistle blows, and it's going to be a Utah power play when we come back, as there's 13:59 left in the second period. Greenville leads Utah 2-0. This is the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
From commercial to recreational truck accessories, Mountain Land Truck Outfitters has got what you need. Flatbeds, spray and bed liners, lifts and leveling kits, wheels and tires. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters proudly uses a brand you know and trust. And with our experienced, knowledgeable, and friendly staff, your visit here will be informative and enjoyable. Stop into our convenient location in Provo at 265 South 100 West, or call 801-225-4637 to get a quote for your fleet or individual truck. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters.
Grisby commutes to work by riding UTA. It gives him time to make friends and relax before arriving to the Maverick Center. But how can Grisby keep enjoying that feeling throughout the entire day? An idea! Utah Transit Authority, proud sponsors of the Utah Grizzlies.
13 minutes and 59 seconds left in the second period. Now they got trivia here. As... oh, no. It looks like a fan lost the trivia question. The question was, what city did the Colorado Avalanche originate from? Where did they move from? And they moved from Quebec City on May 5th, 1995. And so Grizzlies trivia was unsuccessful this evening. As she said Atlanta. Well, I guess it was a decent guess, but the correct answer is Quebec. I think what gave it away is there was a game earlier this week where the Avalanche wore Quebec Nordiques jerseys. So 13:59 is left in the second period. Grizzlies are on the power play as Ryan O'Hara gets a cross-checking minor. Grizzlies with a power play goal in 5 straight games. They're 7 for 17 on the power play over the last 5 games. Genev, Friesen, Gratton, Lebster, and Hanson Bukata are the party of 5 on the ice for Utah. Hanson Bukata has 11 power play assists this season. Genev has 1 goal and 10 assists on power plays this year. And Tyler Gratton, he's picked up a lot of goals for the Grizzlies in the power play, leads Utah with 6 power play goals on the season. As Genev around the boards, Lebster gets it in the right point. They'll feed it to the middle of the ice for Friesen, who dangles back and forth, drops it back for Lebster. Lebster over to Gratton, 6 power play goals this season, right side, as he couldn't get a shot off as Greenville cut in front of him. Nightmont in the Swamp Rabbits chasing after a loose puck. Polino, he'll skate in left wing, righty shot, saved by Bassey. Polino's already got a shorthanded goal this series as the Grizzlies come up with a puck. Big save by Dominic Bassey, denying Patrick Polino, who scored a goal in last night's game. Danny Genev, right wing, crosses center ice. Genev, right side. His lefty shot is blocked Puck's reversed to the left corner for Freese, and it gets pushed by Berg. As Lepster behind the net for Grattan. Over to Genev off a Greenville stick to the right wing. Freese up top to Hanson Bukata. Back to Genev. He's in the right circle. Genev will curl it back to Hanson Bukata off the boards. Cross ice feed towards Lepster. Back towards AHB. Over to Genev. One-timer. Glove saved by Scholl. Boy, Genev had plenty of steam on the one-timer, but Scholl sprawled towards his left and was able to make a glove save. 51 seconds left in the power play and 12:50 left in the second frame as Grizzlies will switch up skaters. Mikey Claw talking things over with Riley Connors and John Gillette. And two defensemen on this power play shift with Luke Salem and Robbie Stucker. Remember, it was Stucker that scored a power play goal on Wednesday night. As he fired away from the high slot, Salem and Gillette got the assist on that particular power play goal. Riley Connors, his parents are in attendance this week. Draw one by Greenville, and it's cleared out by Jack Brackett. Massey behind his net will drop it for Robbie Stucker. And Stucker will let Riley Connors play it. Connors, long-range feed out to Gillette. He gets it towards Quella. Centering pass to Salem is off a Greenville stick. As Jake Murray gets the puck, and he will helicopter it all the way towards left corner as Massey will cut it off behind his net. Greenville will switch up skaters and get 4 fresh tires on their penalty kill. 20 seconds left in Utah's power plays. Connors across the center ice, left wing chip is poked back towards Bassey. As Greenville, they've got a strong penalty kill unit this season at 82.6%. Gillette head towards Coelho, who has to chase after it. Fraser will roll it along the far wing boards. Coming out of the box is Ryan O'Hara. Grizzlies didn't generate much in that power play. The one Danny Genev one-timer. That was the highlight of the power play for Utah. So it's still 2-0 Swamp Rabbits. Less than 12 minutes left in the second period. Swamp Rabbits have outshot the Grizzlies 18-9. Gansky crossed the center ice, and he'll sky it in. Grizzlies already with more shots in the second period than they took in the first. Up top, nobody was in the right point, and so it will go all the way towards Bassey. Gansky with the puck with Masher Donato trailing him. Gansky will fire it off the glass, and the puck will go all the way down for a Utah icing as there's 11:24 left in the second. So we're close to the halfway point of this scheduled 60-minute affair with an outstanding crowd. I guess there's probably 9,500, 9,600, somewhere in that nature, as the upper bowl is pretty well packed as well. As fans are having a good time, they're looking to see if the Grizzlies can generate some offense here in the second period. Of the 9 shots the Grizzlies have so far tonight, Reed Lepster and Danny Genev have 2. 5 other Grizzlies with 1 shot each. As Tim Lovell dances around, puck off his stick out to center ice. Lovell will backpedal into his own zone as he gets it across the Swamp Rabbits. As Josh Atkinson battles with Kennedy, Grizzlies up with it. Utah down the middle of the ice, Henry Schreifels. He fires left a shot. Rebound shot, a score! And now the Swamp Rabbits are going after Sean Kennedy after a collision. Save that puck, DJ McFarland, as Sean Kennedy gets his first pro goal. And Sean Parker Jones has some words for Kennedy. And the Grizzlies cut into the lead. It's now a 2-1 game. Boy, just kind of a loose puck. Schreifels kicked it off a skate, and then in the left wing, it was Sean Kennedy putting it away. As this Maverick Center crowd is fired up. As Schreifels just stopped in the right side, moved it off a Greenville stick, and Sean Kennedy was Johnny on the spot. So Kennedy gets his first league goal. He played in the SPHL earlier this season and had 6 goals in 27 games with the Birmingham Bulls. Kennedy had a strong 4-year stay at Elmira College. He had 2 years where he had 13 or more goals at Elmira. So Kennedy with the goal, and the assists go to Henri Schreifels. Right now, Schreifels has the lone assist. And for Henri Schreifels, that's his first point as a Grizzly. And that is his first pro point. He had 12 assists last season at Stonehill College. So it's now a 2-1 game, less than 11 minutes left in the second period. Grizzlies get it ahead towards Tyler Gratton. Gratton over the offensive blue. Left wing. Lefty shot kick saved by Scholl. Now Gratton in the right wing. He'll fire towards the net, and it's blocked by Murray. Webster will carry the puck back to neutral ice. So Grizzlies will reset the attack. So Henri Schreifels his first pro point with an assist. Time of goal, 8:55 into the second period. Out at center ice, Greenville with it. As Polino will back it out into his own zone. So it's 2-1 Greenville, but the Grizzlies have a little bit of momentum, and they're trying to carry it on into the next couple shifts. Murray over to Sheriff in the left wing. He's over the offensive line. As Sheriff skates towards left point. Now drops it looking for Remy Parker, who will skate to the corner after it. Now the puck hit the opposite the front of the crease, where it's taken by Luke Antonacci. Antonacci off the glass. The puck hit the opposite near the Grizzlies bench. As Utah picks it up, but they're offside. As the whistle blows. As Mikey Coelho was in the Swamp Rabbits zone. It was picked up by Evan Friesen just outside the Greenville blue line. So good to see Sean Kennedy get on the scoring sheet here tonight. As I mentioned, Kennedy, before outstanding years at the college level at Elmira College. He played from 2020 through 2024 at Elmira, and he had 45 goals in 4 seasons at Elmira. And obviously, mentioned the 6 goals in 27 games earlier this season with the SBHL's Birmingham Bulls. Salem with the puck. He's at neutral ice as near the Grizzlies bench. Genev will backhand it in as the Swamp Rabbits still on their own end. So they'll kick it off a stanchion. Genev over in the left point. Battles, and the Swamp Rabbits move it out to center ice. Salem spins to avoid a Brackett check. Now Brackett will knife it between Salem's legs. The puck goes towards Riley Connors. Stucker across center ice. Gets to his left. Genev over the offensive blue. He fires lefty shot that's blocked. Swamp Rabbits come back the other way. As crossing center ice, lofting it in, is number 12, Ben Poisson, the main product, second-year pro. Poisson delivers a push on Stucker as Bassey plays behind his net. Grizzlies are in the specialty jerseys tonight. Combination of red, white, and blue. As Connors, right wing crosses center ice, and he'll plop it into the left corner as the puck kind of takes a strange bounce off the ice. As Masher Donato gets it ahead towards center ice for O'Hara, trying to split a double team, and he feeds it towards the far side for Boilar for Utah. As Boilar gets it back at the Utah blue line, he'll backhand it to Gansky, who wheels it out to center ice. Coella will throw it in as he comes off the ice at the end of a shift. 8:25 on a moving clock, second period. Greenville leads 2-1, but the Grizzlies have some momentum after Sean Kennedy's first as a Grizzly. Puck will trickle back to center ice. Atkinson crosses center ice, and he'll fire it onto Bassey, who sticks it away as it ricochets off the glass and goes out of play off the protective netting. And it looks like it's on the top of the boards, and a guy with a goalie mask, he comes away with the puck. And he's fired up as there's 8:10 left in the second. Now, some people would say if you go to a baseball game, you got to bring your glove. And if you go to a hockey game, well, you got to bring your goalie mask. So that fan in the front row, he puts his mask back on top of his head. And he's going to come away with a frozen vulcanized rubber disc. 8:10 left in the second period. Grizzlies trail by a goal as Atkinson gets towards the right side. Greenville dancing around. Tim Lovell spins. Well, he's very active. He's somebody that's very fidgety. He takes a shot that's blocked. As John Gillette crosses center ice, he tried to move it towards his left, looking for Kennedy. It's picked off. Now the puck towards left wing board. Schreifel gets thrown to the boards by Lovell as Kennedy and Gillette look nearby. Now the puck up top towards Antonacci. Off the stick as he was battling with the Swamp Rabbit. Antonacci will wing it off the top of the boards as Scholl lets it go to the left corner. The Grizzlies will switch up forwards as there's about 7.5 minutes left in the second period. It's 2-1 Greenville. As trying to jump out of the way was linesman Craig Peterson as the puck goes all the way down deep into the Grizzly zone for a Greenville icing. So it was great to see Sean Kennedy not only get the goal, but Henri Schreifel's picking up his first point with an assist. Schreifel's played the last 2 seasons at Stonehill College. In 69 games at Stonehill over a 2-year stretch, he had 14 goals and 20 assists. Before that, he played 2 years at RPI. Schreifel's out of Aurora Hills California, 25 years old. He is 6'1", 195 pounds. Swamp Rabbits win the draw, and they ice the puck as the whistle blows again with 7:22 left in the second. Many games across the league. Not many are still in progress, so a lot of league fans are tuned into this one with an outstanding Saturday night crowd, and what a great atmosphere in the Grizzlies trying to match the intensity of the crowd here at Maverick Center. As Utah has certainly performed well here in this second period. They had 4 shots in the first and are up to 7 here in the second period. Grizzlies win the faceoff. Webster fires towards the net. It's sticked away by Lovell, and it goes out of play. So Swamp Rabbits will switch out skaters. John Buchanan talking with his unit. It looks like it's going to be the same 5 for Utah, which is Webster, Friesen, Grattan, along with the defensive pairing of Luke Salem and Robbie Stucker. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. There's a lot of sports entertainment options out there. Thanks for choosing the Grizzlies this evening. Salem gets it nudged away. Now Stucker, right side, is shot. Saved by Scholl in the butterfly position. As Webster gets held up along the wall by Murray. And now the Swamp Rabbits come out of the pile with the puck. As right wing, Stucker around the boards. Now back towards Jake Murray. As Shandor in the area. As the puck is taken by Greenville. Shandor takes it. He skates along the right wing, just outside the circle. Lefty shot saved by Bassey. As Sheriff off his stick. Out to center ice. Grattan tried to get to Webster, but it was overled for him as Webster couldn't quite reach it. Swamp Rabbits get it back as Polino over to Sheriff, left wing. He'll bounce one across. Centering pass. Shot by Polino. And Salem saves the day as Polino just couldn't gather the puck in front of the crease cleanly. And then the net gets dislodged with 6:30 left in the second. Really close call there as the Swamp Rabbits were looking to take a 3-1 lead. And Luke Salem did a good job occupying the Swamp Rabbit out in front of the net. And that was Patrick Polino. Couldn't believe that he couldn't get a handle of the puck to get the goal. So they put the net back in place. Faceoff's going to be in the left circle. Third game in 4 days for both teams. Last regular season meeting ever between the Grizzlies and Swamp Rabbits. Utah is 3-1-1 all time against Greenville. As Greenville gets to Atkinson, right side, he'll take a lefty shot and he scores. Second goal tonight for Josh Atkinson. He fired a low liner in the first period. And this time he roofed it over the right shoulder of Bassey. And just like that, it's Greenville 3, Utah 1. Atkinson was all alone on the right side. And he just kind of guided the puck. Got some air under it and extended the Swamp Rabbits lead. So Atkinson with his second of the night and 6th of the year. As Greenville tries to gain momentum back in this game. As Grizzlies, it looked like had quite a bit of jump after the Kennedy goal. As Atkinson scores 13:36 into the second with Lovell, and Masher Donato gained the assists. There's 6:10 left in the second period as Gansky skates around his own net. He'll guide it out to center ice. Genev wasn't looking for it. Now Genev took it away. Danny Genev over the offensive blue, but he couldn't get around Cole Fraser. Genev will sky it in as he's towards the end of his shift. As the Grizzlies will get 5 fresh skaters on the ice. Antonacci will feed it back to Hanson Mikado, who directs it to center ice off of the stick of Riley Connors. Scholl plays behind his net, wearing number 30. Around to the right wing. It goes past Kennedy on to Antonacci. Back past Kennedy again. As the Swamp Rabbits off a stanchion. Puck up the ops towards Kennedy, who gets it knifed away by Jacob Modry. Out to center ice near the Grizzlies bench as Sneath collides with the Swamp Rabbit. And Greenville back up with it. As the Swamp Rabbits play a bit of a slowdown version of the game of hockey as there's 5:21 left in the second period. The Swamp Rabbits fire it all the way down for an icing. It's kind of interesting when you think about Chad Costello, the first-year Greenville head coach. The style of play that the Swamp Rabbits employ is very different than what he had when he was a member of the Allen Americans. A lot more controlled, a lot less run and gun. And as a result, you don't see a ton of great scoring chances against the Swamp Rabbits team. And that wasn't necessarily the case when he was with Allen. as Chad Costello has done a pretty good job. Him and his associate coach, Jason Payne. Payne, over the last 4 years, was head coach of the Cincinnati Cyclones. Draw won by the Grizzlies. It lifts over the crossbar. Webster trying to tap it. If he would have, it might have been played with a high stick anyway. As Pawson, he races towards the far wing. He'll nudge it out to center ice for Brackett. Chasing after a loose puck. Stucker gets there about the same time as Remy Parker. Behind Utah's net. Friesen gets pushed towards the boards. As Gratton trying to break free. Now left wing. Shot. That one's blocked by Bassey. Now Parker over in the right corner as he gets to Brackett in the left goal line. Brackett backhands it up top. Berg fires towards the net. It's sticked away by Pawson, and it flies out of play. 4:41 left in the second period. Swamp Rabbits take a 3-1 lead as Josh Atkinson has 2 goals, and Dante Sheriff has also found the back of the net. But congratulations to Sean Kennedy. He picks up his first pro goal, 8:55 into the second period. This is the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Les Schwab changed the tire game more than 70 years ago. Today, we still believe you should get more from less. Like more hustle, less hassle. More of the best service around, less of the runaround. Because we include America's best tire warranty in every tire we sell. So you get more unbeatable warranty, less charging you extra. It's why we're more than proud to say, you get more from less.
From commercial to recreational truck accessories, Mountain Land Truck Outfitters has got what you need. Flatbeds, spray and bed liners, lifts and leveling kits, wheels and tires. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters proudly uses a brand you know and trust. And with our experienced, knowledgeable, and friendly staff, your visit here will be informative and enjoyable. Stop into our convenient location in Provo at 265 South 100 West or call 801-225-4637 to get a quote for your fleet or individual truck. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters.
4 minutes and 41 seconds left in the second period. Greenville leads 3-1 as Josh Atkinson, the Swamp Rabbits captain, has 2 goals. Swamp Rabbits have outshot the Grizzlies 21-12. Greenville with 12 shots in the first period, 9 in the second. Grizzlies 4 shots in the first period, 8 so far in the second. Last home game for the Grizzlies since until February 10th, where Utah will take on the Idaho Steelheads. Grizzlies will be on the road for 3 games next week against the Tahoe Night Monsters. Sean Parker Jones off the stick. Swamp Rabbits with momentum. Skating in is Wade Murphy, and he draws a penalty. Wade Murphy, we talked about the Swamp Rabbits playing under control. Murphy came in a bit out of control at full speed, slithered his way around a couple Grizzlies, lost his balance as he was skating towards a crease. He got knocked down and drew a penalty. And after the whistle, a little bit of pushing and shoving along the far wing boards. And just about a full section 102 with hardly any empty seats, as they see a little bit of a commotion. As Murphy just kind of got spun around by Gansky. As we mentioned, Murphy is kind of coming in out of control, and that's where Gansky's going to argue the case. As Gansky gets 2 minutes for tripping, Gansky points up to the video board, and it's kind of a tough one there because you see Wade Murphy coming in out of control. And with that, he could lose his balance just on, not much contact. So that's what Gansky be arguing. Didn't look like he was arguing too vehemently, but it's a Greenville power play as Gansky gets 2 minutes for hooking 15:35 into the second period. So a critical penalty kill for the Grizzlies to try to stay within striking range. Draws over in the left circle. Riley Connors will take the face-off. As draw one by Greenville. Berg over in the left point. He gets it across. Right side. Looks like Tim Lovell dancing around. Now towards the left goal line. Now back up top. Berg across to Sheriff. Left circle. His shot is blocked. It was blocked by Salem. Salem limping a little bit, but he stays on the ice. As Genev crashes towards the boards, the puck took a crazy hop off the stanchion over in the right corner. Now right wing lefty shot saved by Bassey. Puck back up top. It's the Swamp Rabbits. Fake it as Lovell moves to the right side. It's sticked away by Stucker. Swamp Rabbits get back up top. Lovell fakes the shot, gets to Sheriff. Sheriff collects the puck and he'll skate towards Lovell. Now Sheriff will move towards the right side. He fires the righty shot that goes over Bassey's head and crashes off the boards. Berg in the left point, blue line at his ankle. Over to Sheriff in the right wing. Sheriff dancing around in the right circle. Over to Level in the left circle up top. As Shandor over to Sheriff. Sheriff tried to slide one out in front. Puck kicks off a skate back towards Sheriff. And getting it at stage, and Navy clears it out. Grizzlies quickly try to get a line change in. Greenville re-enters. Sheriff over to the left goal line. Looked to center it, but it tapped off a Salem stick. Running it down to keep it in was Level. He'll throw it to the left point, but nobody was home. Taking the puck is Evan Friesen, and he'll fire it deep into the Swamp Rapids zone as the Grizzlies will complete the line change as Salem and Stucker exit, and they are replaced by Luke Antonacci and Aiden Hansen-Bukata. 25 seconds left in the power play as Atkinson dropping off to Kenta Isogai from Nagano, Japan, over to Masha Donato, back to Isogai, over to Polino in the left point as Swamp Rapids are in the offensive zone. 12 seconds left in the power play. Puck is reversed to Isogai in the left corner as he feeds to the circle, and it's taken away, and the Grizzlies will plop it towards Greenville ice. Friesen will come out for a change. And coming out of the box is Noah Gansky. Successful power play for the Grizzlies. Successful penalty kill for the Grizzlies. Gansky will skate towards the bench. Isogai dancing around in his own zone, being shadowed by Tyler Gratton. Grizzlies might try to put a little bit more pressure on Greenville in their own zone, with it being a 2-goal game. As Isogai lost control of the puck for a little bit. Now he strides along the far wing as he loses his balance. Grizzlies enter. Reed Lepster towards the left circle. Gets around Frazier. He'll take a righty shot. Saved by Scholl. Now the net's dislodged as a bit of commotion in front of the crease. And that stops play with a minute 56 left in the second. Boy, the Grizzlies came in, crashing towards the net. It looked like Scholl was able to make the initial save, and then the net came open pretty quickly as the Grizzlies tried to get 2 or 3 bodies out in front of the crease to try to collect a dirty, greasy goal. So they put the net back in place, and the faceoff's going to be over in the left circle. And you almost have a feeling if the Grizzlies are going to climb back into it, it's going to be that forward line of Lepster, Friesen, and Gratton, as they've probably been the most consistent forward line for the Grizzlies over the last 3 weeks. Kennedy will take the draw. He's out there with Lepster and Gratton as Evan Friesen was a part of the last few seconds of that penalty kill. So Kennedy got his first league goal a few minutes ago. There's a 2-0 Greenville lead coming into the second period. Kennedy scored 8:55 in with Henri Schreifels picking up the assist. And then Atkinson made it a 3-1 game as he scored a second of the night, 13:36 in for Greenville. Towards the left goal line, Gratton finds a cutting Lepster shot to score! Gratton to Lepster to the back of the net. Reed Lepster gets his 22nd of the year, and it's now a 3-2 game. Boy, beautiful passing by the Grizzlies as Gratton was on the left wing, found a cutting Lepster. And Reed Lepster has been an outstanding goal scorer for the Grizzlies this year. Boy, Gratton dancing around, backhand feed to a cutting Lepster. And Lepster roofed it right over the left shoulder of Matthias Scholl. Quick release for Reed Lepster, and he's done that all year long. So the Grizzlies get some momentum back late in the second period as Lepster gets the goal with Gratton and Sean Kennedy getting the assist. So already a multiple-point game for Sean Kennedy with 1 goal and 1 assist. Tyler Gratton stays red hot as he now has 8 points in his last 6 games. So this being the 6th game, and Reed Lepster gets his team leading 22nd of the year. He came into play 3rd in the league in goals. Connors, right side, he fires the righty shot that goes wide. Waller over to the left wing, look to center it, and it's off a Greenville stick. Now John Gillette towards the left wing, trying to locate the puck. He collides with the Swamp Rabbits. Taking it to Tim Lovell. He's over the offensive blue. He'll move it to his right. As right wing righty shot, and it goes wide. That shot was taken by Wade Murphy. Mark Larson, how much time is left in the second period?
1 minute remaining in the second period.
Thank you, Mark. As Gansky, left wing feeds, a hot one off a stick. Now regathering it is Reed Lepster over to Connors. Connors will backhand it in, but it didn't get all the way. Now the Swamp Rabbits, Isogai. He's along the left wing, skates towards the circle. He tried to feather one out in front, but it was overled for Masha Donato. 35 seconds left in the period. Masha Donato in the right corner. He gets it up top. Swamp Rabbits fire towards the net and misses. Modry to the left corner as he's being shadowed by Lebster. Modry out to the right wing, drops it in the corner. 22 seconds left in the period. Isogai tried to feather it to the middle. It's taken away. Reed Lebster, 2-on-3, crossing center ice. He'll move it to his left. As the Grizzlies trying to get it back towards Lebster. It's taken away by Greenville, who will float it into the Grizzlies zone. Massey has to play it, the side of his net. 6 seconds left. Grizzlies skip one out to center ice off the stick as they're trying to get to Grattan. 2 seconds left in the period. And that will do it for 40 minutes here at Maverick Center. As Reed Lebster gets the Grizzlies back into it as he scored 18-14 in, with Tyler Grattan and Sean Kennedy getting the assists. Greenville came into the second period with a 2-0 lead, and the Grizzlies outscored the Swamp Rabbits 2-1 in the middle frame. And how about Sean Kennedy? He gets his first pro goal. He scored 8:55 into the second, with Henri Schreifels picking up his first point as a Grizzly. Greenville extended the lead to 3-1, 13:36 in as Atkinson roofed it over Dominic Massey. And the Grizzlies get their second goal of the period with Lebster 18-14 in. And how about Tyler Grattan? He came in a red-hot hockey player as Grattan had 7 points in his last 5 games. He now has 4 goals and 4 assists in his last 5.5 games. And for Sean Kennedy, his first multiple-point game as a pro. Well, that was a fun 20 minutes of play. We'll see what happens in the third as the Grizzlies are just down by 1, 3-2 here at Maverick Center, and a crowd of over 9,000 could potentially be as much as over 10,000 here on this Saturday night. We'll come back and describe what's happened over the first 40 minutes of play and also go over some scores from around the world of sports. After 40 minutes of play, it's the Greenville Swamp Rabbits 3 and the Utah Grizzlies 2. This is the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Tonight's game is brought to you by the ECHL, celebrating its 38th season of affordable family entertainment. The ECHL would like to thank everyone in attendance for your support of ECHL hockey. The ECHL would also like to recognize the following league sponsors: AMI Graphics, exclusive signage provider; Athletic Knit, official jersey supplier; Baron Rings, official championship ring supplier; BFL Canada Insurance and Sutton Special Risk, sponsors of the 2026 ECHL Hall of Fame induction ceremony; Dash, official mobile auction platform; The Fairley Group, official commercial insurance provider; Flow Sports, exclusive streaming provider; Hotel Planner, official hotel reservations partner; Howie's Hockey Tape, exclusive hockey tape and lace provider; In Glasgow, exclusive puck provider; Prolific One, exclusive secondary ticketing partner; and Warrior, exclusive on-ice equipment provider and title sponsor of the 2026 ECHL All-Star Classic. Catch all of the ECHL action live in high definition by logging on to flowhockey.tv.
After 40 minutes of play here at Maverick Center, we've got ourselves a good one as the Grizzlies trail the Greenville Swamp Rabbits 3-2 in the final regular season meeting ever between the clubs. I'm Tyson Whiting. Utah's trying to climb back into this one as we've got an outstanding Saturday night crowd here at Maverick Center of, we believe, over 9,000, maybe even closer to 10,000. Hopefully we'll get an attendance total here during the third period. But for the Grizzlies, they're looking to find a way to get their first home victory of the 2026 calendar year. The Grizzlies have been a strong road club this year with a record of 12-11-2. But the Grizzlies with just 3 home victories this season, and they're trying to get back on the winning note here on the Maverick Center ice. They'll have plenty of home games in the final 2.5 months of the regular season. Greenville got on the board first, 5:59 in as Josh Atkinson got his 5th of the year. Tim Lovell and Hudson Shandor each picked up an assist. And then later on in the first period, Sheriff got his 7th of the year as he scored 13:53 in with Shandor, and Polino gained the assists. Greenville outshot Utah 12-4 in the first period, and the Swamp Rabbits had a 2-0 lead. Grizzlies responded about halfway through the second period as Sean Kennedy got his first of the year with Henri Schreifels picking up an assist. Grizzlies just got the puck in the transition game with a forward line of Schreifels, Gillette, and Kennedy. Schreifels was on the right wing. Looked like he tapped off a Greenville stick. Kind of an odd play, and the puck ended up right towards Kennedy. And Kennedy's a guy that can score goals. He had 45 goals in 4 years at Elmira College, including a year where he had 17 goals. He had 6 goals in 27 games with Birmingham in the SBHL this season. And Kennedy gets his first as a Grizzly, 8:55 in. Henri Schreifels with his first pro point as he picked up the lone assist. Greenville made it a 3-1 game as Atkinson scored from the right wing. And that was 13:36 in. It's Atkinson's 2nd of the game and 6th of the year. Lovell and Mastrodonado with the assist. And then Reed Lepster got his 22nd of the year as Tyler Gratton had the puck in the left goal line. He just found Lepster cutting towards the net. Pass went tape to tape, and Lepster fired it over the left gloved shoulder of the left shoulder of Matthias Scholl. Stats of the second period. Grizzlies had 6 scoring chances to Greenville's 4. So through 2 periods, Grizzlies with 7 scoring chances and the Swamp Rabbits with 10. Utah's winning the battle of the faceoff circle, 14-10 in the second period and 22-14 through 2 frames. Both teams had 10 shots in the second period. Both clubs had 1 power play shot. Greenville with 2 shorthanded shots in the second period. Tons of hits tonight. Grizzlies with 20 hits through 2 periods, and Greenville has 25. And in terms of giveaways, Utah had 10 giveaways through 2 periods, including 6 in the second period. And the Swamp Rabbits with 11 giveaways, including 8 in the second period. It'll be interesting with the Grizzlies down 1 to see how aggressive they are in pursuing Greenville, in particular when the puck is in the Greenville zone. As the Grizzlies over the last month and a half have really done a good job in pressuring the opposition, and in particular pressuring them in their own zone. We'll see how much the Grizzlies do of that in the third period to try to see if they can create some turnovers and see if they can find a way to tie this game. As obviously the Grizzlies have been hoping to have some success here on the Maverick Center ice, and it could be something where they're pressing a little bit, and who knows, because they have been a pretty good road club this year, but Utah is looking for a little bit of consistency here on the Maverick Center ice, and they're hoping that starts with a third period comeback. So we'll see what happens in the final 20 minutes of play, but the Grizzlies put together a strong 20 minutes to stay in this one through 2 periods. Special teams haven't played that much of a factor. Greenville is 0 for 2 on the power play. Grizzlies are 0 for 1. Of the 14 shots Utah has taken through 2 periods, Reed Lepster leads the way with 4, including 1 goal, which came late in the second period. Sean Kennedy and Daniel Genev each have 2 shots. Now about Kennedy, 1 goal and 1 assist, his first multiple-point game as a pro. For Greenville, and their 22 shots through 2 periods. They are led by Patrick Berg, who has 4 shots. Josh Atkinson has 2 goals on 3 shots. Handful of Swamp Rabbits with 2 shots each. So that's some of the stats of the first 2 periods. Dominic Bassi has saved 19 of 22 in net for Utah. And Matthias Scholl for Greenville, he has saved 12 of 14. It's the only game in progress in the league. Every other game has gone final. Allen shuts out Rapid City 3-0. That game played at Credit Union of Texas Event Center as Parsons was in net for Allen, and he had a 34-save shutout. Idaho defeats Tulsa 6-1. The Swamp Rabbits will be in Boise to take on the Idaho Steelheads in a 3-game set next week. Fort Wayne shuts out Tahoe 6-0. The Grizzlies will be in Tahoe next week for a 3-game set on February 4th, 6th, and 7th. Kalamazoo gets 3 goals from Walker, 2 in the first period and 1 in the third. Kalamazoo defeats Toledo 3-2. Trois-Rivières over Jeff Carr's Norfolk Admirals 6-3. Kansas City gets 2 goals from Jake McLaughlin, and they defeat Wichita 5-3. Reading over Greensboro 2-1. South Carolina gets a 4-1 win over Jacksonville. In a shootout, Indy defeats Iowa 3-2. Florida gets a 5-1 win over Atlanta as Florida gets their 26th victory of the year. Maine over Adirondack 6-3. In overtime, Worcester defeats Wheeling 3-2. Two other finals, Orlando over Savannah 3-2. And Cincinnati gets a 2-1 win over Bloomington. When we come back, we'll check in on the NHL scores. The Grizzlies NHL affiliate, the Colorado Avalanche, were in action earlier today. The Greenville Swamp Rabbits NHL affiliate, the LA Kings, are also in action this evening. We'll come back and give you the NHL scores on the other side as we've had an exciting one here at Maverick Center as Greenville leads Utah 3-2 as Utah got second period goals from Sean Kennedy and Reed Webster. This is the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
We're 20, and yeah, we're celebrating big. Because in 20 years, we didn't just make the gear. We made hockey cooler. They said we were too loud, too flashy, too different. They told us to tone it down. The Warriors don't tone it down. We go full throttle. And this is just the start. 20 years in and we're just getting warmed up. We're still the brand that makes the gear you can win in, chirping, and partying. And if you thought we were bold before, just wait. The next 20 years start now.
Since 1939, America First has helped people start businesses, buy homes and cars, and achieve their financial goals. Today, our top priority is still the financial success of you and your family, which is why we're giving new members $100 when they sign up for a basic savings and checking account, and another $100 when they upgrade to premium checking and enroll in and use direct deposit. So head to AmericaFirst.com today and join the credit union that always puts its members first.
After two periods, the Greenville Swamp Rabbits have a 3-2 lead over the Grizzlies here on Guns N' Hoses night. And it is the final Guns N' Hoses Classic in team history. And what a memorable one it's been so far. And the Grizzlies are hoping to cap it off with a third period comeback. Action across the National Hockey League earlier today. The Grizzlies NHL affiliate, the Colorado Avalanche, get a 5-0 victory over the Detroit Red Wings. As Nathan McKinnon had 2 goals and 1 assist. And Mackenzie Blackwood had a 28-save shutout. Colorado over Detroit 5-0 this afternoon on national TV. A couple games in progress. After one period, Wild and Oilers are tied at 2. Also after one period, Kraken have a 2-0 lead over the Vegas Golden Knights. At Delta Center, the Dallas Stars have a 3-1 lead over the Utah Mammoth. That is after 2 periods of play. Nobody scored in the second period. Dallas got first period goals from Thomas Harley, Wyatt Johnston, and Matt Duchesne. For Utah, Kyler Yamamoto found the back of the net, 10:23 into the first period with J.J. Paterka and John Marino picking up the assists. Dallas has outshot Utah 21-10, and after 2 periods, Dallas has a 3-1 lead. That game is played over at Delta Center. Finals across the National Hockey League. The Swamp Rabbits NHL affiliate, the LA Kings, get a 3-2 overtime victory as Quentin Byfield scored the game winner, 2:48 into the extra session. Both teams had 21 shots, and the Kings defeat the Flyers 3-2 in overtime. Penguins over the Rangers, 6-5. Jets get a 2-1 victory over the defending champion Florida Panthers. Flames over the Sharks 3-2. Capitals get a 4-3 win in overtime over the Carolina Hurricanes, as Shoref had the overtime game winner for Washington, 1:42 in. Canadians over the Sabres, 4-2. Senators get a 4-1 victory over the Devils. Looks like the Senators are starting to play some good hockey again. Predators defeat the Islanders 4-3. Blue Jackets over the Blues 5-3 in a shootout. Maple Leafs defeat the Canucks 3-2. William Nylander with the shootout game winner. Well, a lot of fun memories have been made here on Guns N' Hoses night at Maverick Center. I think back to when the Rapid City Rush were here a couple years ago, and Rapid City had a 2-0 lead in the third period. Then the Grizzlies scored 4 goals in the final 12 minutes of the third period to come away with a 4-2 victory. And it seems like year in and year out, Guns N' Hoses night not only exceeds expectations in the stands, but it also exceeds expectations in terms of how the game is played. And it certainly is a fun atmosphere for every player to see just about every seat being filled by a person. And so you know you're going to get great efforts from players on both teams, and you know you're going to get the type of games that you, as a fan, you want to come see. You want to see a little bit of everything. You want to see some physical play. You want to see some good passing, and I think for part of it, I think we've seen some good hockey. The Grizzlies putting together a pretty good effort through 2 periods. Obviously they're going up against the Greenville team that's looking to get their first 3-game sweep this season. As the Swamp Rabbits haven't swept anybody in a 3-game set yet this year. Grizzlies looking to find a way to get the ball rolling here on the Maverick Center ice. Don't forget that next week the Grizzlies will be on the road for 3 straight games against the Tahoe Night Monsters on February 4th, 6th, and 7th. Next homestand for the Grizzlies will be a 4-game homestand. February 10th will be against Idaho, and that's going to be the game that is the game that was postponed due to the player strike on December 26th. That game will be made up on February 10th. That's going to be a Tuesday against the Idaho Steelheads. And then the Bloomington Bison will be in town for the first time ever. And that'll be a 3-game series. February 13th and 14th will be 7:10 face-offs. And Monday, February 16th, will be at 3:10. Make sure to get your tickets to UtahGrizzlies.com. That's what's on tap here at Maverick Center over the next couple weeks. When we come back, we'll have third period action. We'll see if the Grizzlies have a comeback in them. The second period was the Sean Kennedy show with 1 goal and 1 assist. And Reed Lepster picked up his team-leading 22nd goal of the year, and that was late in the second period, 18-14 in, on a great pass from Tyler Gratton. Third period action will begin shortly as you've been tuned in to the Intermission Report on the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
We're 20, and yeah, we're celebrating big. Because in 20 years, we didn't just make the gear. We made hockey cooler. They said we were too loud, too flashy, too different. They told us to tone it down. The Warriors don't tone it down. We go full throttle. And this is just the start. 20 years in and we're just getting warmed up. We're still the brand that makes the gear you can win in, chirping, partying. And if you thought we were bold before, just wait. The next 20 years start now.
From commercial to recreational truck accessories, Mountain Land Truck Outfitters has got what you need. Flatbeds, spray and bed liners, lifts and leveling kits, wheels and tires. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters proudly uses a brand you know and trust. And with our experienced, knowledgeable, and friendly staff, your visit here will be informative and enjoyable. Stop into our convenient location in Provo at 265 South 100 West or call 801-225-4637 to get a quote for your fleet or individual truck. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters.
Welcome back to Maverick Center. We're about set for third period action. Some highlights of the first 2 periods we're watching on Flow Sports as Utah was able to get on the board as Henri Schreifels fed it across to Sean Kennedy. Kennedy's first pro goalie, had 6 goals in the SPHL with Birmingham this season. And Schreifels is just a perfect pass. Just kind of fed it from one circle to the other. And then Kennedy, as he was in the celebration now, just kind of nudged into a Swamp Rabbit. There was kind of a brief moment where I thought we might have had a fight, but both teams ceased and desist and calmed down. As play had been a little bit scrappy throughout. There's the Reed Lepster goal if you're watching on Flow Sports. Just a great pass out in front from Gratton. And Reed Lepster seems like he converts on many of those scoring chances. And that's really a big difference between Reed Lepster and some other guys is other players may not, capitalize on those grade A chances, but Reed Lepster consistently has been able to put the puck in the back of the net. Attendance tonight, 9,589, 95-89. We're in the final Guns N' Hoses Classic in team history. So if you wanted to guess the attendance, it appears to be 9,589, the biggest home crowd so far this season. 20 minutes are put on the clock. Grizzlies win the face-off. Utah skates from right to left as we see it from high top section 114. It's a 3-2 Greenville lead as the Grizzlies will be looking for the tying goal and the Swamp Rabbits will be looking for some third period insurance. Jake Murray over towards Jack Brackett. who will fidget out to center ice. The puck will slide on this fresh sheet of ice all the way deep, and a big-time collision as it looked like two players both lost their balance and crashed along the boards. Robbie Stucker for the Grizzlies. Hopefully Stucker's okay as he flexes his left knee as he was chasing after a loose puck, and he and Remy Parker both hit the ice. It'd be a shame if Stucker got hurt there, and it looks like he's going to have to be helped off the ice. As Stucker crashed his leg along the boards, and Stucker will walk towards the locker room as he's going to be looked at by Grizzlies head athletic trainer Brooke Timoney. It looked like a Stucker and a Swamp Rabbit were both going after the loose puck on the fresh sheet of ice. They both crashed along the boards. It was just Stucker that's going to the locker room. Looked like the Greenville player, I believe that was Remy Parker, and Parker looked like he was all right. As both guys just crashed off the ice, and Stucker looked like Parker kind of awkwardly hit his right leg along the boards as well. As both guys were just going after a puck, and there really was no need for it because icing was the call. As out towards center ice, the puck will lift into the Greenville bench as it ricochets off a Swamp Rabbit. And we get a whistle 27 seconds into the third period. So hopefully Robbie Stucker will be all right. He's been one of Utah's most dependable defensemen this season. As they're going to look at Stucker in the locker room. Grizzlies have the forward line of Reed Lebster, Evan Friesen, and Tyler Gratton on the ice, and Hanson Bukata and Luke Antonacci are the defensive pairing. Face-off won by Greenville in the last regular season meeting ever between these clubs. As Grizzlies backhand it, and Scholl will stick it to the left corner. Grizzlies skate from right to left in the period. Gratton battles with Berg as Berg gets pushed by Gratton, and Berg cross-checks Gratton. As puck towards the left wing, Hanson Bukata gets hit by a Swamp Rabbit as the puck gets a little bit of air under it. Goes Masher to now that hits Hanson Bukata. Right wing Antonacci keeps control of the puck. He fires towards the net, saved by Scholl, and he holds on. As Antonacci didn't have a great shooting angle as he was skating in from the right wing. And Scholl, Matthias Scholl, he's pretty aggressive in coming out and cutting off shooting angles and passing angles in front of his crease. Scholl seems to be a goaltender that plays with a ton of confidence. First time he's played against the Grizzlies. It's his first full season as a pro. He played his college hockey at Bemidji State. So faceoff's going to be in the right circle. Friesen will take it again for Utah. Actually, it's Riley Connors who's out there with Genevieve and Mikey Coella. As Connors thought about taking the draw, but linesman never dropped the puck. 19:03 is left in the third period. Fans still coming back from the concession stands. As Greenville has a 3-2 lead. Draw won by the Swamp Rabbits. Level feeds it towards Josh Atkinson, who's on hat trick watching. He'll squib it ahead. Genevieve right wing shot saved by Scholl. Well, it looked like it got redirected by Connor's stick and ended up towards the chest of Scholl. And Scholl was just able to somehow keep in front of him and put it in his glove. As a ricochet off the logo on the front of his jersey and right into his glove. As Connors did redirect it, and it just kind of bounced like a basketball towards Scholl. And somehow the Greenville goaltender was able to corral the puck that was bouncing like crazy in front of him. So faceoffs can be back in the right circles. There's now 18:55 left in the third. And Greenville wins the draw as Atkinson will feed it behind his net for Tim Lovell, who gets to Mastrodonato. Mastro, rink-wide feed towards Atkinson, tape to tape, ahead to neutral ice. Now back towards Atkinson, who's a 10th-year pro, ahead to center ice. Mastrodonato came off, replaced by Sheriff. As Mikey Coyle, left wing, lefty shot. That one's blocked away by Scholl. It stays in play. Scholl looks over his right shoulder. Sheriff and Genevieve wearing number 26, both of them. Battle over in the corner as puck back to the left wing. Swamp Rabbits race out to center ice. They try to get it ahead towards O'Hara, taken away by Salem. Genevieve enters from the right wing. He'll take a lefty shot, saved by Scholl. Rebound goes towards Sheriff. As the Swamp Rabbits back over in the right, behind Scholl's net. As Connors battle with Atkinson. Over to the right side. Genevieve skates towards the point. He gets knocked down by Sheriff. And arm is going to be raised by the referee, and that's going to be a Utah power play. As Sheriff lost his stick, and Genevieve tripped over the stick. Dante Sheriff can't believe it, but he's going to go to the box for 2 minutes. So Dante Sheriff gets 2 minutes for tripping, as we have played exactly 2 minutes in this third period. So it's going to be a Utah power play. Grizzlies are looking for their first power play goal of the night, as Utah so far is 0 for 1 on the power play. So second power play for the Grizzlies tonight, as Geneva just kind of tripped as he was exiting towards neutral ice. Priest will take the face off. It's won by Utah. Hanson Bukata in the left point. He'll direct it to Genev, left circle. Now to the left goal line for Bratton behind the net. Over to Lebster, back up top to AHB in the high slot. Over to Lebster, right wing. Lebster dangling back and forth. Now he pivots and throws it back to the right point. AHB over to Genev, left wing. His shot is blocked by Modry. Friesen will skate towards the left corner with the puck as he gets pushed by Modry. As Modry continues to hold on to Friesen. And now another Swamp Rabbit. Cole Fraser gets physical. Genev rolls along the boards, but it goes past Lebster and all the way along the far wing wall deep into the Grizzlies zone. Swamp Rabbits will get 4 fresh skaters on the ice as Hanson Bukata will slide it to the middle of the ice in the Grizzlies zone for Danny Genev. Genev, the first-year pro out of Penn State, one of the best rookies in the league. Over to Lebster, back to Genev. He will slide it near the Grizzlies bench. O'Hara gets there about the same time as Friesen. Grizzlies get to the left wing for Genev, who enters. He stops on the left point, avoids a check, and the puck goes back to net neutral ice. We're halfway through the power play. Grizzlies cross center ice. Lebster gets taken away. The Swamp Rabbits will skate back into their own zone. Now they'll saucer it ahead as Massey gets it off the end boards, and the Swamp Rabbits again make a change. And the Grizzlies will filter 5 new skaters on the ice. Noah Gansky with the puck. He'll move it towards his right. This would be Robbie Stucker in this power play unit, but he's in the locker room with a lower body injury. Connors right side. His shot's gone wide as Salem gets it towards the right side. Gillette enters. He stops in the right point. Gillette will feed it to the middle of the ice. It's cut off by a Swamp Rabbit. Now Salem looking to center it. It kicks off of Scholl. Greenville will clear it all the way out. Keaton Mastrodonato in particular. About 15 seconds left in the power plays. Greenville still leads 3-2. Nobody has scored here so far in the third period. Connors enters from the right wing. Gets around Modry. Connors gets dragged down. No penalty, though. Connors back to his feet at the right goal line. Over to Coella. Back to Connors. Wraparound shot saved by Scholl. Everybody hacking away. And Greenville is back at full strength. Sheriff joins the play. Gansky back to the corners. Coella collides with Cole Fraser. Fraser around the boards. The Grizzlies will switch up skaters. Utah's 0 for 2 on the power play tonight. Chandor drops for Sheriff. Right wing. Sheriff goes down. Oh, that's going to be a penalty on Henri Schreifels. So tripping's going to be the call as Sheriff just kind of dropped the puck behind him. Schreifels spun around Sheriff. Henri Schreifels can't believe it, but it's going to be a Greenville power play. Tripping's going to be the call as Schreifels goes to the box. Looks like Henri Schreifels wants to look at the video board and see a replay. As Sheriff got around Schreifels, and it does look like a pretty good call as Sheriff went down. It's one of those Schreifels kept his head up, but it was more a skate that tripped up Sheriff than anything else. Time of Schreifels' penalty is 4 minutes and 20 seconds into the third period. So it's a 3-2 Greenville lead, and this is a critical penalty kill for the Grizzlies. It's Greenville's third power play of the game. Greenville so far has 1 power play shot on the night. Draw one by the Swamp Rabbits. Atkinson with 2 goals already tonight. Whips it around the boards. And the Swamp Rabbits reverse it back to the right wing for Mastrodonato. Polino near the boards gets double-teamed. Gansky and another Grizzly. As Atkinson with Gansky ahead towards Gratton. Tyler Gratton left wing gets double-teamed. He'll drop it off for Lebster, but the Grizzlies are offside as that stops play with 15-19 left in the third. As the puck ended up exiting to neutral ice, Lebster tried to keep it in, and if he would have kept it in, and if he would have been able to corral the puck and get control of it, he would have had a great scoring chance. Watch out for Reed Lebster. He's got 2 shorthanded goals this season. Gratton, Lebster, Gansky, and Hanson Bukata are the 4 on the ice. Haven't seen Robbie Stucker on the bench after he crashed along the boards in the first whistle of the third period. Hopefully Robbie Stucker's all right, as looked like he was hurt quite a bit after ricocheting his leg along the boards. Draw one by Webster. Webster to the right wing. His shot goes wide. Almost looked like Webster would have been offside anyway, but the call never came. Iso guy crosses center ice. He'll nudge it towards his left. Polino over towards Murphy. Murphy was strong on the power play as a member of the Steelheads over the last few years. Behind Utah's net, 3 Swamp Rabbits and 3 Grizzlies battle. Gansky gives some lumber towards Wade Murphy in the back. As Grizzlies holding their ground, Mastrodonato joins the play. Mastrodonato gets the puck. He's got 10 goals this season. Over to Iso guy in the left point. Back up top, Mastrodonato. He's in the high slot. Over to Iso guy just outside the left circle. Lefty shot. Glove saved by Bassey. As Iso guy fired a low liner, maybe hoping for a redirection from a Greenville stick, where the puck just slid on the ice and Bassey was able to collect it as he collected it around his left ankle with 14:35 left in the third. 55 seconds left in Greenville's power play. The score is Greenville 3, Utah 2. Swamp Rabbits scored 2 unanswered first period goals. Utah outscored Greenville 2-1 in the second period. Goals from Sean Kennedy and Reed Webster. Greenville wins the draw. They're still on the power play. Mastrodonato left wing, righty shot. Glove saved by Bassey. And he holds on as looked like Wade Murphy was trying to redirect the Mastrodonato shot. Those two were teammates with Idaho 2 years ago. But Bassey snatched it, and he holds on. For the 5th straight game, Dominic Bassey's done a good job keeping the Grizzlies within striking range. Face-off won by Greenville. As they're over in the left point, Murphy gets double-teamed. As now it's taken by Luke Salem in the far circle, and he'll slide it all the way out. Grizzlies skate from right to left here in the third period. Greenville from left to right. About 30 seconds left in the power play. As the Swamp Rabbits down the middle of the ice, Atkinson fakes to his right and nudges it to his left. Swamp Rabbits over the offensive blue. As O'Hara skates towards the left point, and he'll spin the puck along the wall. Salem in the right corner, lets it go. Sheriff almost collided with his teammates. Now it's a center ice. John Gillette overskates the puck. As Antonacci over towards Gillette. Left wing at center ice. And he'll fire it around the boards. The Grizzlies will switch up skaters. 5 seconds left in the power play. Trifles is standing up in the penalty box. Greenville over the offensive blue as Trifles is back on the ice. He's out of the penalty box. Grizzlies are 3 for 3 on the penalty kill tonight. Wallar backhands it ahead. Long range feed angle left. It goes to Connors. He skates towards left circle. Shot. Kick save off the left pad of the goaltender Scholl. Boy, good luck for Riley Connors. He didn't miss it by much. Scholl doesn't have particularly long legs, and Connors tried to go low on him. Right wing, Frazier bounces one in front of the net, and it Hipponops over O'Reilly's stick. Geneva over in the left corner. There's about 13:05 left on a moving clock, third period. Greenville still leads 3-2. Connors with a big hit on a Swamp Rabbit. As puck goes from one corner to the other. Chasing after it's Mikey Coella. Gets there before John Parker Jones as Coella avoids the Parker Jones hit. Mikey Coella races along the right wing. Crosses center ice. Murphy took it away. Coella gets it back and he backhands it deep into the Swamp Rabbit zone as Coella comes off the ice after a hard-working shift. Cole Fraser back along the far wing. He's made the rounds in the league. Still cross center ice and toss it in as Antonacci around the boards towards Schreifels. He's in the left wing. Schreifels in the middle of the ice for Kennedy. Sean Kennedy wearing number 17 gets to the right point and dumps it into the corner as Hanson Bukata. He's in the left point over to Kennedy. Sean Kennedy backhands one in front of the crease. Nobody there except for Scholl. Will fire it off the glass. Antonacci keeps it on the right point. He'll bounce it off a Grizzly and it rolls towards Scholl, who keeps the play alive. A little more than 12 minutes left in the third period. Antonacci centers it. It's picked off. Greenville fires it back towards Utah ice where Antonacci gets it back. Now to Hanson Bukata. Over the middle of the ice for Kennedy back to AHB. Right wings to Antonacci. Antonacci at neutral ice. Will spin the puck along the boards as the puck goes back towards Brackett for Greenville. As the Swamp Rabbits will pitchfork it ahead. It goes back to Utah. Grizzlies will waffle one towards the left wing for Salem, who fires towards the net. It's gloved by Scholl, and he will hold on with 11:34 left in the third. Grizzlies will have an offensive zone draw on the other side as Greenville leads Utah 3-2. This is the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Since 1939, America First has helped people start businesses, buy homes and cars, and achieve their financial goals. Today, our top priority is still the financial success of you and your family, which is why we're giving new members $100 when they sign up for a basic savings and checking account, and another $100 when they upgrade to premium checking and enroll in and use direct deposit. So head to americafirst.com today and join the credit union that always puts its members first.
$11 minutes and 34 seconds are left in the third period as Greenville leads Utah 3-2. Grizzlies with an offensive zone draw. Both teams are up to 24 shots on goal as the Grizzlies have taken 10 shots in the third period and the Swamp Rabbits have 2. So a 10-2 edge in the shot count in the third period in favor of the Grizzlies. Freese will take the draw left circle. It's won, though, by Greenville. Grizzlies skate from right to left here in the third period. Swamp Rabbits race out to new tries. Isugai gets around Friesen and bounces it off of Lebster in the right point of the Grizzlies zone. Utah in the specialty jerseys. That looks like the auction's pretty close to being completed for the game-worn jerseys. Back towards the left wing, Friesen. He gets cut off by Remy Parker. Now back to Lebster. Skates around Greenville's net. Lebster trying to center it to Grattan. It bounced off the skate. Swamp Rabbits out to new tries. Lebster back towards Salem. As Salem gets hit in the back by Ryan O'Hara, last night's hero for the Swamp Rabbits. Isugai skates in, left wing. Lefty shot, glove saved by Bassey. And he will hold on as there's 10 minutes and 50 seconds left in regulation. As it's still a 3-2 game. And once again, Dominic Bassey's kept the Grizzlies in it. Boy, what fun action we've seen here at Maverick Center. As Grizzlies year in and year out play some of the most entertaining hockey that we'll see in the league. Next home game for the Grizzlies will be on a rare Tuesday, February 10th, as they take on the Idaho Steelheads. So remember, that's the game that was a reschedulement of, reschedulement's definitely not a word, but it is now, from that postponed December 26th game due to the player strike. And that will be February 10th against the Idaho Steelheads. As Grizzlies get it towards center ice, Genev to Riley Connors. Over the offensive blue will drop it to Genev. Left point gets around one skater. Lefty shot was blocked by Josh Atkinson, who's got 2 goals for Greenville tonight. Sheriff will drop it back for Atkinson, who's on hat trick watch for the Swamp Rabbits. Atkinson's got 6 goals this season. He accelerates around Genev out to center ice. Now Sheriff to the right wing. And he gets taken away by Hanson Bukata. AHB leads Utah with 21 assists this season. As Gillette takes the puck from Shandor. High slot, lefty shot, saved by Scholl. As Scholl came out in front of the crease to play the puck, and he holds on with 10:06 left in the third. Greenville will be in Boise next week for a 3-game set against the Steelheads, and the Grizzlies will be in Tahoe for a 3-game series next week, February 4th, 6th, and 7th, the Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. As a face-off won by Utah, John Gillette gets pushed in the back. Kennedy gets double-teamed along the right wing board. Rifle shot to score! Save that puck, DJ McFarland, as Henri Schreifels gets his first pro goal, and we're tied at 3. How about that? Schreifels just fired a prayer towards the net from just outside the right circle, and he fired it stick side past Scholl. Like Cole Frazier might have acted as a screen of sorts. I'm not sure Scholl had good vision of it. But Henri Schreifels, who picked up the main assist on the Kennedy goal in the second period. Schreifels, have a night. He'll never forget this one. As Schreifels with the goal, Sean Kennedy with an assist. That's the 3rd point tonight for Sean Kennedy. As the Swamp Rabbits step over the offensive blue. We're tied at 3 halfway through the third period. Puck is curled out in front off a John Parker Jones stick. Now left, right wing shot to score. Murray fired one towards the net. It got redirected by the stick of John Parker Jones. And just like that, Greenville retakes the lead. It's now a 4-3 game. Boy, Grizzlies fans are still celebrating the goal, and Greenville responds. Murray was over in the right point. I fed a low liner out in front of the net. And John Parker Jones just out in front of the crease. And John Parker Jones scores a big goal. So it's now the Swamp Rabbits 4 and the Grizzlies 3. As John Parker Jones gets the goal with one of the assists going to Jake Murray. And they'll figure out the second assist here in a few minutes. As it's now 4-3, Grizzlies fans are on the edge of their seats, seeing if Utah can find a way to tie it up. Grattan dumps it in from neutral ice. As Lepster towards the left point. He's in the offensive zone as he gets pushed to the boards. Grattan joins the play. 2-on-2 scrum as Grattan gets hit in the back by a Swamp Rabbit. As Lepster towards the left wing. As Grattan gets cross-checked in the back by Berg. Lepster with a sharp angled shot from the left corner. Now Grattan cross-checks Berg. Berg gets his stick aggressively on Grattan. As Greenville comes back the other way. Brackett across the center ice and he'll squib it into the right corner. And just as the Grizzlies had tied it up with Henri Schreifels, Greenville responds. Left wing shot hits the outside of the cage. Grizzlies will fire it off the glass, and it goes all the way down. Hustling is Tim Lovell, and it's going to be icing on Utah as play stops with 8:37 left in the third.
That's 8:37 to get.
Big crowd here at Maverick Center of 9,589. What a crazy sequence. Schreifels tied up the game exactly 10 minutes into the third period. 21 seconds later, John Parker Jones redirected a Jake Murray shot. So 2 goals, 21 seconds apart. Grizzlies had tied it up at 3, and then Greenville responded within the next shift. Atkinson, high slot, lefty shot. That's blocked by Bassey. As Atkinson's on hat trick watch, he's already got 2 goals tonight. Left point, prayer gets unanswered by the Swamp Rabbits. Atkinson up top towards Level. High slot, lefty shot, say rebound. Everybody hacking away. Bassey dives to cover up. And then Mastrodonado laid on Bassey. And Salem went to pull Mastrodonado off the top of Bassey. Play stops with 8:19 left in the third. The faceoff's going to be back in the Grizzlies zone. What crazy action we've seen here at Maverick Center. As Bassey did a good job, and then Mastrodonado, well, it looked like the Maestro knew what he was doing there. He saw that Bassey was laying on the puck and just kind of looked like he was losing his balance, then made sure to get on top of Bassey. And Luke Salem pulled Mastrodonado right off of Bassey. So there's 8 minutes and 19 seconds left in the third period. 4-3 Greenville. Sean Kennedy's got 1 goal and 2 assists. Henri Schreifel, 1 goal and 1 assist. Grizzlies are ready with some third period magic. They're looking for some more, down 4-3. Off the draw right side by Level, and it's blocked with traffic. Now left wing. Shot saved by Bassey. He holds on. That shot was taken by Josh Atkinson. Now Mastrodonado gets tied up with Boilar. As Boilar having a conversation with one of the linesmen. And Mastrodonado, as both teams will cease and desist and head their separate ways with 8:11 left in the third. So play's starting to get spirited, and if you got any beef with the opposition, you're going to have to settle it right here and now, as after all, it's the final meeting ever between the Grizzlies and Swamp Rabbits. Only game in progress in the league. Now Mastrodonado having some words with Noah Gansky. As Mastrodonado and Gansky heated at each other. Looked like those two wanted to get after it in the middle of the ice, and Two officials separated the two. So face-offs give me in the left circles. There's 8:11 left in the third period. It's the Swamp Rabbits 4 and the Grizzlies 3. Utah's up to 29 shots. Greenville has 29 shots. Utah with 27. As the Swamp Rabbits win the draw, they'll whip it around the boards. Right side, Atkinson gets there before Genev. Now to the goal line, Wallar. Head towards Genev, but it goes past him. Swamp Rabbits get it back towards the right circle. Dansky ahead to Genev. He wobbles it out of play as a delay of game. Well, a fan comes away with a souvenir about row 4 of section 113, but the problem is Danny Genev gave the frozen vulcanized rubber disc from his own zone without hitting the top of the glass. Danny Genev gets 2 minutes for delay of game as there's 7:51 left in the third. So Greenville will get their 4th power play of the game. As Genev gets 2 minutes for delay of game. The Grizzlies' penalty kill's been strong so far. They're going to need a critical PK here to keep it a 1-goal game. And you wonder how aggressive if the Grizzlies have the puck, they're at neutral ice and maybe have a chance at a shorthanded goal. How aggressive are the Grizzlies in trying to get that shorthanded goal to tie it up? Certainly some of the things to think about. Face-offs over in the left circle. And it's won by Greenville. As Bird gets it towards the left circle. Centering pass. Lefty shot. Saved by Bassey. And it looks like he's held on. As Salem over with Bassey. And Bassey gets back to his feet. You have to worry just a little bit. As Bassey... like that one probably got him around chest high. As Dylan Wells earlier today was recalled to the AHL's Tucson Roadrunners. So the backup goaltender is an E-bug named Reed Jacobson. For some reason, the Greenville broadcaster thinks I'm an off-ice official and suggesting I add assists to somebody, like I have that kind of power. 7:44 left in the third period. Hats off to him for thinking I can multitask like that. As the draw won by the Swamp Rabbits. Lovell over towards the right point. Gets to the right goal line. It's 4-3 Swamp Rabbits here late in the third period. As Greenville's on the power play for the next minute 40. Lovell over to the right circle up top to Berg. Cross-ice feed to Sheriff, who fakes the one-timer. He gets to the middle of the ice for Shandor. Off his stick. Shandor back to his feet. Puck towards the right point. Grizzlies get it, and they'll wobble it all the way back deep towards Matthias Scholl. As we have 1:22 left in the power play. As out to center ice, Swamp Rabbits skate in. As left wing, lefty shot goes wide. Sheriff over to the right side, skates towards the corner. Now off the stick of Ryan O'Hara, and the Grizzlies get it and clear it out. Less than 7 minutes left in the third period. You're on Guns N' Hoses night. Crowd of over 9,500, 9,589 to be exact. Swamp Rabbits will switch up skaters as we have about 50 seconds left in Greenville's power play, their 4th of the night. As Atkinson out to center ice, will drop it off. As Isogai crosses center ice, now he veers off to his left, gets around Kennedy. As it's saucered over to Murphy on the right side. Up top to Atkinson, to the middle of the ice. Mastrodonato skates in right, he shot and he scores. And Keaton Mastrodonato fired up as he'll see skates immediately towards section 115, taunts the crowd. As Mastrodonato now taunts the crowd a little bit more as he makes it a 5-3 game. As Keaton Mastrodonato looks up into the video board at himself. And that was a big goal by Mastrodonato to give the Swamp Rabbits some insurance with 6:24 left in the third. And with that, a couple of the fans have decided to head for the exits and try to beat traffic. So face-off goes deep into the Grizzly zone. It's a power play goal scored by Keaton Mastrodonato as he gets his 11th of the year. And Wade Murphy and Josh Atkinson pick up the assists. There's action deep in the Swamp Rabbits zone. There's a 2-on-2 scrum as Scholl looks over his left shoulder. Swamp Rabbits 5, Grizzlies 3. Greenville has outshot Utah 31-27. Now there's less than 6 minutes left in the third period. As Scrum continues as Sneap, Trifles, and a couple other Swamp Rabbits battle. And now Kennedy, he's got 3 points tonight. Puck hipping up over a stick. John Parker Jones will clear it out as the puck will bounce into the Grizzlies zone. And icing is on Greenville with 5:39 left in the third. So Draw's going to come back towards Matthias Scholl. As Swamp Rabbits are going for the 3-game sweep as they've won 3-1 on Wednesday and last night. In overtime, Swamp Rabbits got a 3-2 win. So Grizzlies with 6 goals so far in this series. Unfortunately, we haven't seen Robbie Stucker out there as he got injured after the first shift of the third period. So the Grizzlies are rolling with 5 defensemen here in the third period. Utah wins the draw. Hanson Bukata is shot and a stick lets him down as the stick breaks in 2. As back to the right corner, Friesen. He gets pushed to the boards by O'Reilly. Gratton goes down, so does Friesen. Arm is raised as Friesen gets cross-checked in the back, and Gratton and another Grizzly is going to go confront the Swamp Rabbit who cross-checked Evan Friesen out shoulder high. And that's John Parker Jones going after a Grizzly. Now Parker Jones attacking Hanson Bukata. Greenville leads 5-3. 5:24 is left in regulation. We'll find out how this ends on the other side. This is the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Tonight's game is brought to you by the ECHL, celebrating its 38th season of affordable family entertainment. The ECHL would like to thank everyone in attendance for your support of ECHL hockey. The ECHL would also like to recognize the following league sponsors: AMI Graphics, exclusive signage provider; Athletic Knit, official jersey supplier; Baron Rings, official championship ring supplier; BFL Canada Insurance and Sutton Special Risk, sponsors of the 2026 ECHL Hall of Fame induction ceremony; Dash, official mobile auction platform; The Fairley Group, official commercial insurance provider; Flow Sports, exclusive streaming provider; Hotel Planner, official hotel reservations partner; Howie's Hockey Tape, exclusive hockey tape and lace provider; In Glasgow, exclusive puck provider; Prolific One, exclusive secondary ticketing partner; and Warrior, exclusive on-ice equipment provider and title sponsor of the 2026 ECHL All-Star Classic. Catch all of the ECHL action live in high definition by logging on to flowhockey.tv.
Five minutes and 24 seconds left in the third period as Greenville leads Utah 5-3, but the Grizzlies will get 4 minutes worth of a power play as John Parker Jones got 2 minutes for roughing and 2 minutes for tripping, and those come 14:36 into the third period. So it's a 5-3 Greenville lead, but the Grizzlies, boy, they're within striking range if they can find a way in each of the 2 minutes. Obviously, it's 2 separate minor penalties for John Parker Jones. The thought is maybe, can the Grizzlies find a way? If they can get a goal here within the next minute, they'll certainly have plenty of time to try to tie it up. Grizzlies will be pretty aggressive, but this is going to be a power play, and the Grizzlies obviously have been strong on the power play over the last couple weeks, and they're going to need to get something done right here and right now. And it's been a big game for Sean Kennedy, who has 1 goal and 2 assists. Henri Schreifels with 1 goal and 1 assist. Utah has also gotten a goal from Reed Webster, who's a +1 and has 6 shots to lead the Grizzlies tonight. Utah will start this power play with Evan Friesen, Tyler Gratton, Reed Webster, Danny Genev, and Aiden Hanson-Bukata. 4 forwards and 1 defenseman. As they show John Parker Jones on the video board, John Parker Jones is laughing as the fans boo him. Parker Jones says an obscenity towards the Grizzlies fans in the box. As Hanson-Bukata over to Genev, just outside left circle, starting pass on, kicks away as they were looking for Gratton out in front of the net. Gratton leads the Grizzlies with 6 power play goals this season. As puck to the right side, it ricochets off the glass and wobbles back into the Grizzlies zone. Hanson-Bukata runs it down, and the Swamp Rabbits will get a line change in with 4 fresh skaters. Webster collects the puck across the center ice. He's got 1 goal tonight, 22 on the season. Over to Geneva, who drops it for Grattan. Back to Geneva. Both guys played at Penn State for a while. As Lepster back up top to Geneva. He's along the right wing boards. Geneva will skate towards the corner, gets Lepster around the net. Lepster centers it. Too much traffic out in front as Lovell will collect the puck. He'll fire it off the top of the glass, and it stays in play. Oh, dangerous play by Lovell. He could have fired it out of play, but just hit the top of the glass. As if it would have gone directly out of play based on where he was on the ice, it would have been a 5-on-3 power play for Utah. Geneva over to the right wing for Friesen, who whips it around the boards. Puck will slide towards the left corner, and the Swamp Rabbits' Cole Fraser will clear it out. Fraser's played a pretty good series for Greenville. He played in 27 games for the Grizzlies during the 2020-21 season. Grizzlies switch up skaters. We have about 4 minutes left in the third period. Connors gets the puck. He'll skate towards the right wing, crossing center ice. Connors around one skater, skates towards the right side as Atkinson pushes him towards the boards. In the left corner, Salem collides with the Swamp Rabbit. Up top left point, Gansky over towards Salem as he danced around in the left wing. Back behind the net for John Gillette. Gillette throws one out in front. It's taken away, and the Swamp Rabbits will sky it towards Bassey. So Greenville will switch up skaters. There's 2:10 left in the power play. You can almost treat it as 2 separate 2-minute penalties. So we'll be at the end portion of the first 2-minute session. And now that does it for the first part of the double minor for John Parker Jones. Now we're in the second half. 1:50 left in Utah's power play. Swamp Rabbits will squib it back towards Bassey. 3:08 on a moving clock. Third period. Grizzlies are looking for a miracle as Greenville leads 5-3. Hanson Buchanan drops it back as the puck will sky towards the middle of the ice in the Grizzlies zone. Danny Genev gets it. Genev strides along the left wing. Rinked wide feed goes past Friesen. Now towards the right corner, Swamp Rabbits get it, and they'll skip it all the way towards Dominic Bassey. Time is on the Swamp Rabbits side. There's now 2:40 on a moving clock, third period. Hanson Buchanan drops it as coming off the ice is Bassey. Smoke him if you got him. 6-on-4, Utah's net is empty. Friesen skates towards the corner as he gets pushed by a Swamp Rabbit towards the wall. Lepster gets his stick held up, and he'll play soccer, kicking it to Connors in the right wing. Across the Hanson Buchanan. AHB towards left corner, back up top. Lepster feeds to Geneva in the right circle. Shot safe. Rebound shot goes just wide, and the second look by Friesen. As up top towards Lepster, he's in the left point. Lepster, cross-ice pass towards Geneva in the right point. Geneva fires towards the net, gets redirected, and the puck will wobble towards the left corner. Less than 2 minutes left in the third period. Lepster, left wing, righty shot. Saved by Scholl. Boy, good stop by the Greenville goaltender. Lepster, boy, he thought he had one from the left point, as Scholl just kind of sprawled towards his right to collect the puck and hold on, as there's 1:52 left in the third period. So faceoff's going to be in the Swamp Rabbit zone. 28 seconds left in the power play and 1:52 left in the third period. And with that whistle, a few more fans are taking off for the exits. Busy day of pro hockey here in the Salt Lake Valley. Greenville, Utah's in battle with Greenville. And over at Delta Center, we'd like to thank those of you who are tuned in, saw the Dallas Stars get a 3-2 win over the Utah Mammoth. We thank those of you who are tuning into the Grizzlies game after checking out that one. Kyler Yamamoto scored both of the Mammoth goals, but Dallas scored 3 first-period goals, and they made it stick as Dallas got a 3-2 victory over the Utah Mammoth. Timeout Grizzlies, 1:52 left in the third period, and this is just as much to make sure you keep the same 6 on the ice as Ryan Anderson, Grizzlies assistant coach, is talking with Hanson Buchanan, Riley Connors, Genev, John Gillette also talking as well, as Greenville looking for the 3-game sweep. Swamp Rabbits scored 2 goals in the first, 1 in the second, and 2 more in the third. Faceoff's going to be in the Swamp Rabbit zone. Greenville has outshot Utah 31-29. So the 6 on the ice for the Grizzlies. Friesen, Connors, Grattan, Lepster, Genev, and Aiden Hanson Buchanan. We certainly hope Robbie Stucker's okay. He got hurt in the first shift of the third period. We haven't seen him since. Ryan Anderson. Oh, boy, I think Anderson threw both palms in the air. I think he was expecting the faceoff to be in the right circle. So Friesen will take the draw. 6 on the ice for Utah with their net empty. Power play for another 28 seconds. Puck is dropped and goes up top to Handsome Yukata. He'll get it toward Genev just outside the right circle. Genev dancing back and forth, gets to Lebster left wing. He fires the righty shot and his stick breaks. His equipment let him down. That's happened a few times to the Grizzlies tonight. Genev right side. He fires towards the net and misses. 10 seconds left in the power play. Connors in the high slot. Dangling back and forth. Drops it for Lebster. Reed Lebster skates down the middle of the ice. Toe drag. Loses control. Now he gets it back. Lebster almost loses his balance. Throws it to the middle of the ice. Greenville back at full strength. John Parker Jones fresh out of the box. He fires to the empty net and he scores. John Parker Jones takes his glove off and whispers the crowd to be quiet as John Parker Jones puts this baby in the refrigerator as it's now a 6-3 game. And with that, more fans have headed for the exits. Just loose puck along the right wing. Parker Jones skated towards the empty net, and then he took his glove off and he told the crowd to be quiet. You know, a huge crowd like this, it gets the home crowd fired up, but it also kind of gets the visitors going as well, as players on both teams love seeing packed houses like we've seen here tonight. As it brings out the best in both clubs, and for the Swamp Rabbits, looks like they're going to get a 3-game sweep. John Parker Jones, right now it's listed as unassisted, 18:44 into the third. And if I get a text from somebody in Greenville wanting an assist at it, I'm going to go nuts. I don't think Mike Folta has to worry about that during NHL games. Grizzlies skate in. Kennedy, lefty shot. Glove saved by Scholl, and he holds on with 46 seconds left in regulation. So a tough month of January is coming to a close as the Grizzlies, we're looking for some success, and based on how December ended, with the Grizzlies playing good hockey in the final 12 days of December, Utah was hoping to build on that and have a successful January, but Utah will end the month with a record of 2-10-2. As Grizzlies win the draw, Luke Salem towards the left circle, siren pass, shot saved by Scholl, who's now on a keister. Swamp Rabbits come back the other way, 36 seconds left in regulation. Bouncing puck towards the middle of the ice, couldn't be reached by Remy Parker, as Antonacci back behind his own net. The Grizzlies are hoping that the road trip next week in Tahoe will be a good way to hit the reset button, as they won 2 out of 3 games last week in Rapid City, but unfortunately it's been a rough go of it here at home this season. Greenville will get the victory as their record will go to 18-16-4. They will get their 9th road win of the year, and the Grizzlies at home will be 3-12-2. 5 seconds left. Grizzlies are hanging out their blue line. And even though it was a good game for Sean Kennedy with 1 goal and 2 assists, the Swamp Rabbits get the 3-game sweep. The horn sounds, and John Parker Jones taunts the Grizzlies side as John Parker Jones uses his stick with a sweeping motion. As Greenville celebrates near Matthias Scholl, who gets his 7th win of the year. His record is now 7-7-2. Good game for Sean Kennedy, who had 1 goal and 2 assists, and Henri Schreifels, who picked up 1 goal and 1 assist. Reed Lebster found the back of the net for the 22nd time this season. A season-high crowd of 9,589 were here as the Grizzlies salute the fans that stuck with it through the end. And with a big crowd and a fun atmosphere, it looked like we're in store for a good game as Swamp Rabbits just came up with some big goals, 3 unanswered in the third period to get a 6-3 win. And for the Grizzlies, a tough season here at home as Grizzlies' final hunt for a Kelly Cup has gone a little bit sideways here in the month of January. So fans are headed for the exits, and the Swamp Rabbits will head to Boise. They'll get a 5-hour bus ride tomorrow, and then they'll have multiple days off in Boise, Idaho before they take on the Steelheads in a 3-game series. And for the Grizzlies, It's back to the drawing board as they've got 3 games next week against the Tahoe Night Monsters on February 4th, 6th, and 7th. So it looks like we'll start the post-game story as really the big thing there was Greenville getting the 3 unanswered third period goals, and the Grizzlies did a good job climbing back into this one. But Greenville just 3 goals in the final 9 minutes of regulation. John Parker Jones with the game winner, 11:05 in. Game started, and it looked like we were going to get a fight with Henri Schreifels and Jacob Modry. And then, Modry just, I guess he didn't want to fight, just took Schreifels by the jersey and spun him around a couple times and dragged him to the ice, and that was it for that. Swamp Rabbits got on the board 5:59 in as Atkinson got his 5th of the year with Lovell and Shandor getting the assists. Later on in the first period, Dante Sheriff made it a 2-0 game as he scored 13:53 in. Shandor and Patrick Polino with the assists. Swamp Rabbits led 2-0 after 20 minutes of play. Greenville outshot Utah 12-4 in the first period. And if you're watching on Flow Sports, there are some of the highlights rolling as they're still in the first period. Dominic Massey has done a good job here over the last couple weeks keeping the Grizzlies in games, and he certainly did so throughout most of the third period. As the Swamp Rabbits looking for the 3-game sweep, and they were able to earn it as it's their first 3-game sweep of an opponent this season. As the Swamp Rabbits, there's a second goal. It was scored from the left wing for Dante Sheriff, so both of the Greenville first period goals were scored from the left wing. It's great to see Sean Kennedy break through tonight. He put together some hardworking shifts in the first 2 games of the series. As Henri Schreifels, he had the puck over on the right side about 8:55 into the second period. Just a beautiful cross-ice pass from one circle to the other as Schreifels got it towards Kennedy, and Kennedy fired it past the goal line. Sean Kennedy with his first league goal. He had 6 goals in 27 games in the SBHL earlier this season. Schreifels picked up his first point as a pro with the assist, 8:55 into the second to get Utah on the board and make it a 2-1 game. Greenville's Josh Atkinson scored for the second time tonight, 13:36 into the second. Tim Lovell and Keaton Mastrodonato picked up the assists. So that made it a 3-1 game. Grizzlies responded later on in the second period as Reed Lebster got his team leading 22nd of the year. Tyler Granton with the main assist as he was at the left goal line and just curled a pass out in front to a cutting Lebster. Lebster went glove side past Scholl, and he made it a 3-2 game as he scored 18-14 into the second. Granton with the main assist and Sean Kennedy with the secondary helper. It stayed a 3-2 game for the first half of the third period, and it looked like the Grizzlies were firmly in control of the game. And then Utah tied it up as Henri Schreifels with his first of the year, and first as a pro, Sean Kennedy and John Gillette with the assists, as Schreifels was over on the right side, and I'm not sure if Scholl was able to get good vision on it as Cole Frazier, the Greenville defenseman, kind of acted as a screen of sorts, and Schreifels was able to fire it past the goal line to tie it up exactly 10 minutes into the third period. And with that, I think a lot of Grizzlies fans could sense something good happening. Tied at 3, huge crowd here at Maverick Center. I think that you can just anticipate, a great finish. Tough thing is Greenville responded pretty quickly as John Parker Jones, within the next shift, scored his 4th of the year as he redirected a Jake Murray shot from the right point. Parker Jones scored his 4th of the year. Murray and Wade Murphy with the assist, and that turned out to be the game winner as John Parker Jones got his 4th of the year 10.5 minutes into the third period. Greenville got a power play as Danny Genev got a delay of game minor, 12:09 in. Greenville was 1 for 4 on the power play, and it was Keaton Mastrodonato skating down the middle of the ice, and he fired it past the goal line as Mastrodonato got his 11th of the year. Wade Murphy and Josh Atkinson picked up the assists. What a game for Atkinson, who had 2 goals and 1 assist. He was a +2 and had 5 shots. And then John Parker Jones scored the empty netter, 18:44 in, as he came out of the penalty box, raced along the right wing, got the puck and fired it past the goal line. So for John Parker Jones, he gets 2 goals, had 4 shots, and he was public enemy number 1 among Grizzlies fans' eyes as he served 4 minutes worth of penalties, 2 minutes for roughing and 2 for tripping, 14:36 into the third period. Best crowd here at Maverick Center this season, 9,589. We're here to see the Grizzlies try to salvage the third game of the series, but Greenville, with 3 unanswered third-period goals, they come away with a 6-3 victory. Reed Lepster led Utah with 7 shots. Riley Connors with 5. Danny Geneva with 4 shots to lead the Grizzlies attack. For Greenville, Josh Atkinson led the way with 5 shots, and he ended the night with 3 points. Parker Berg and John Parker Jones each had 4 shots. In net, Matthias Scholl picked up the victory as he stopped 27 of 30. His record is now 7-2 on the year. Dominic Massey stopped 26 of 31 as his record falls to 2-4-2. So really for the Grizzlies, I think they're hoping to get things turned around here at Maverick Center after last week, successfully winning 2 out of 3 games against Rapid City. But the Swamp Rabbits came away with 3 wins, 3-1 on Wednesday. In overtime, it was 3-2 last night, with Ryan O'Hara acting as the hero for the Swamp Rabbits. And tonight, Grizzlies put together a pretty good battle, and it was certainly great to see some of the role players step up, like Sean Kennedy with 1 goal and 2 assists, and Henri Schreifels with 1 goal and 1 assist. The Swamp Rabbits scored 3 unanswered in the final 9.5 minutes of regulation to come away with a 6-3 victory and a 3-game sweep. So for the Grizzlies, and they have been a strong road club this year. Utah's 12-11-2 on the road this season, but here at home, Grizzlies have a record of 3-12-2. Utah will be on the road for 3 games next week against the Tahoe Night Monsters. Don't forget the next game will be on Wednesday night, February 4th. That's going to be an 8 o'clock start. Believe it or not, that was originally a game that was supposed to be scheduled to be played on February 8th at 4 p.m. You know what game is going to be played on February 8th at 4 p.m.? The Super Bowl. Can you believe that someone tried to schedule the Grizzlies to play a game literally during the Super Bowl? So with that in mind, the game had been switched from February 8th to Wednesday, February 4th, and that will be an 8 o'clock start. And then February 6th and 7th will also be 8 o'clock starts next Friday and Saturday night over at Tahoe Blue Event Center. Hopefully I can find a way to get a plane ticket and head on to Tahoe. Otherwise, we're going to have to somehow, some way, find a way to get some internet here at Maverick Center and find a way to describe those 3 road games. Next home game for the Grizzlies will be on February 10th, and that's going to be the rescheduled, postponed game from December 26th against the Idaho Steelheads. Then the Bloomington Bison will be in town for a 3-game set, February 13th, 14th, and 16th. And so that's the next homestand for the Grizzlies. It will be 4 games in a 7-day stretch, a rare Tuesday home game for the Grizzlies against Idaho on February 10th. And that's the Grizzlies' next home game here at Maverick Center. Well, despite the result of the game, there was a ton of people that had a lot of fun here at Maverick Center, and it was a successful day outside of the win-loss column, as there was 3 charity games in the afternoon played here at Maverick Center. The first game was a 5-5 tie between Team Guns and Team Hoses, and then the Hoses Club won each of the next 2 charity games. Not sure what the final score of that second game was, but the third and final game was an 11-3 final score. And a big crowd of over 9,500 were here at Maverick Center, and they saw an interesting game as the Grizzlies got a goal and 2 assists from Sean Kennedy. It was his first league goal, and Henri Schreifels with his first pro goal, and he also picked up the main assist on the Kennedy second period goal. Let's see if we can go over the 3 stars of the game. Third star is Sean Kennedy of the Grizzlies with 3 points tonight, 1 goal and 2 assists. John Parker Jones with 2 goals, including the game winner. He is the second star. And Josh Atkinson with 2 goals and 1 assist. He's a +2 and has 5 shots on goal. And Josh Atkinson, the Greenville captain, is the number 1 star of the game. Well, we hope you enjoyed the broadcast, not necessarily the final outcome. Once again, in 2 hours and 38 minutes and in front of a season-high crowd of 9,589. It's the Greenville Swamp Rabbits defeating the Grizzlies 6-3. Next broadcast of Grizzlies hockey will be next Wednesday, February 4th, as the Grizzlies begin a 3-game series with the Tahoe Night Monsters. I'm Tyson Whiting, and I'm just pursuing my dream, and that's to someday get to the National Hockey League. You've been listening to the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network. Good night, everybody.